Mr. President has given the order saying they refuse to obey, he will pay directly himself to these council coffers using executive orders. Do you think this will change the narrative? Analysts, again, will share their opinions and views on this particular discussion. Well, in course of the show, we'll take a look at what the papers have in store for us this beautiful Sunday morning. It's good for you to get to know what the print media has in store for you so you can be able to know what is really happening in details in and around your environment. We'll go for a break. When we return, we'll go through our papers, bringing out headlines, making the rounds on today's daily. So don't go away. Welcome to TMI, Sunday's edition, the first edition for the week, with Wilson on Masha. Good morning.
The new Edion expressed excitement as they danced and rejoiced before the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawori Benedion, who also joined in the dance. As visiting and paying of homage to various homes of senior elders continued, the initiates spent 7 days performing diverse kinds of rites as required by tradition. They were furnished with rules and regulations regarding their new office as Edion.
That I grew up in this community to the point that they have now also chosen me as an elder in this community. It's a thing of great joy. All thanks to the Esama of Benin, my people, my family, everybody, all Okada community for this great honor. I am very, very grateful.
Well, this is my brother. I'll call him my uncle because he grew up with my father. I'm so proud of him because we are doing the same rituals as the Edions of the Okada. It is our duty for us to make this place a greater place, for outsiders to come and see the goodness of God in Okada. And I'm proud of every one of us here. So shall it be to each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
Odion ma Okada zima Esama zima Dion Bonazi Majors, Obanazi Major, Manawe, Mari, Orisama, Denena, the Mado Pomisama, the Mado Bekan Sama, and Mahadu Warena, the Sama, Magbekan and Osaba, Obuya Bitoneva, no get Tony Maga, not Yami Magame, Manido Bekan, the Nena, Imayafe, Imato, Imagmo, Paropai Uduri, Imadia Orene, all the Tiagoyano, Magame, we need just to know me of fun.
In this summer, in our father's house, in respect of our initiation to elders at young level. As tradition demands, we are here today to come and also pay our homage to him, for him to also pray for us, for long life and prosperity.
The climax, after 7 days, was paying of homage again to
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's time for us to go through the dailies to see what some headlines are all about this beautiful Sunday morning. Quickly, let's dive into them. Sunday Telegraph. On Sunday Telegraph, we have these headlines. Senator Eyenaya Abaribe interview. Why NAS can't confront executive on constitutional violation. Questions. Nnamdi Kanu's life imprisonment. Governors, local government chairmen negotiate with bandit terrorists. Insecurity. Security agencies don't maximize intel, says experts. Agencies' poor capacity render report useless, says Ejiofor. Asymmetric warfare complicated, says General Adeosun retired. Allegation, or alleged rather, alteration. League of Northern Democrats seeks probe of tax law. ADC Obi decried suspicion actions. Moving on to the next paper, let's see what the Leadership Sunday have in store for us this beautiful Sunday morning. On the Leadership Sunday, we have these headlines. Quest for fourth title. Super Eagles seek redemption in Morocco. And Trump should support Nigeria to solve security challenges, says Tambuwa. The voices were heard, then snuffed out the unforgettable sorrow of 7 fallen women protesters. Labour analysts doubt feasibility of 58.1 trillion naira 2026 budget, says provision ambitious, unrealistic. Yusuf disagrees. Lots of exciting headlines. We have Tinubu renames health varsity after Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi. Okay, moving on to the next paper. Let's see what I have in store for us. That should be the Tribune, I guess. Yes, it's the Tribune. On the Tribune, we have these headlines. New joint tax policy. Nigerian seeks protection from states, local government, order enforcers operating on roads. Call for enlightenment campaign by the federal government. NCAA increases number of international airports with aerodrome certificates to 4. NGC's planned reform causes panic amongst judges. Judicial Council sets new rules for dismissal of indicted judges. About 100 petitions against some judges under consideration. Every lawful path will be taken to rid judiciary of the few bad eggs. Common habit that is killing many Nigerians slowly. Doctors offer solution that can prevent early death. All right. Bow and go syndrome, case of expediency or legislative indolence. Let your voices be heard. Rise for true federalism. Makinde tells Nigerians what we need in Nigeria now. Tinubu, President, preaches peace, unity during visit to Bauchi. Moving on to the next paper. All right, Daily Independent, that is the next paper. When we have these headlines, petrol vehicles face growing time challenge in Nigeria. NMDPRA, NUPRC CEO's resignation, Nigerian seek forensic probe of oil sector agencies. Now that is going to form cross of our discussion today. Tinubu's 2026 budget marks hardship, signal fiscal drift, says PDP. Pessimism trails PDP as the faction leadership crisis overwhelms party. It can still bounce back before 2027, says Ojo and Kano. How true is that? Well, let's take a look at the next paper. On this day, we have these headlines. To ensure seamless use of foreign cards, CBN direct banks to configure ATMs, POS terminals. Tinubu's 2026 appropriation bill signals fiscal drift, says PDP, will be alleged forgery. We are watching INEC closely, says Kwankwaso. APC holds National Convention March 2026. Delivering democracy dividend. Can calls for decisive measures against insecurity to northern states. All right, let's move to the next paper. We have the Weekend Trust. On the Weekend Trust, we have these headlines. Emergency powers under scrutiny. We have seen the Supreme Court's office complex there. I wonder what that is all about. Want to just go read through. 2026 debt servicing to go up 27% of 58.18 trillion naira budget. LG autonomy. Tinubu threatened governors with executive order. Dangote versus importers. Who wins barrel war? The war is still raging on in the oil and gas industry. Survivors relieve matters time violence 45 years after. All right. The last paper for this particular segment, that should be the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard newspaper, we have these headlines. Was ransom paid to secure kidnapped school children's release? Now that's a question. Amnesty raised fresh query. CDC issues alert as new super flu strain spreads globally. CSOs raise alarm over treatment of Kano anti-corruption fighters. Payment into private account. Tinted glass permit controversy. From Iyanyaworo to Oworo, more homes are gone. What remains is rubble. Governor Sanwo-Olu help us stop destruction. Christmas. Surplus rise. Price crash. Hope dashed. Farmers, millers lament investment woes. All right. 11 days to tax reform. Will my bank account be blocked from January 1, 2026 if I don't have TIN? 25 facts about new tax regime. Banditry, kidnapping strategies to destabilize Nigeria. Tinubu government, says Prophet Ojo. Now, this is the most you can take from this segment. All you need to do, we're going to copy or two of these papers, get to read them, digest them, know what is going on in and around your environment. And remember that readers today will definitely become leaders of tomorrow. Try as much as you can to reconquer the reading culture. TMI continues in a moment with our discussion segment. Don't go away.
The new Idiom expressed excitement as they danced and rejoiced before the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawari Benedion, who also joined in the dance. As visiting and paying of homage to various homes of senior elders continued, the initiates spent 7 days performing diverse kinds of rites as required by tradition. They were furnished with rules and regulations regarding their new office as Edion.
That I grew up in this community to the point that they have now also chosen me as an elder in this community. It's a thing of great joy. All thanks to the Esama of Benin, my people, my family, everybody, all Okada community for this great honor. I'm very, very grateful.
Well, this is my brother. I'll call him my uncle because he grew up with my father. I'm so proud of him because we are doing the same rituals as the Edions of the Okada. It is our duty for us to make this place a greater place, for outsiders to come and see the goodness of God in Okada. And I'm proud of every one of us here. So shall it be to each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
Waya waweso Odion ni ma Okada zima Esama zima Odion Ebuna zima Odion Obana zima Odion Marawe Maari Esama Odion na ni ma do pon Esama ni ma do gbe ken Esama e ma adi o wa na Esama ma gbe ken ne osabo obuyo bitu ne baba no get on maga no dia mi maga ma ni do gbe ken ne de na ima ya fe ima ato ima agbo oro pa ewu dori ima adi awo re ne o be ti agbo ya no we mi maga me ni just ko sino mi afa
In Esama, in our father's house, in respect of our initiation to elders Edion level. As tradition demands, we are here today to come and also pay our homage to him, for him to also pray for us for long life and prosperity.
The climax, after 7 days, was paying of homage again to the Odion way, where he gave the initiate the full rights to function and to henceforth participate in meetings with Edion. It will go down in the history and minds of Okada community, Ovia people, Edo State, and Nigeria in general. The ambience, style, and the colorful ceremony associated with the 2025 initiation into the Edion Council of former Governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakari Igbenedion, his brothers Bright Ayamakwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osanwi Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osane Igbenedion, Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Gwede Onwunse, Honorable Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Ukponwa Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Igbenedion, as well as Agbong Steve Igbenedion, among other sons of Okada.
Omonoba Nedu Ukwakolopolo, Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Soto rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed this world 49 years ago. Isoton, is a traditional rite of the procession in memory of the departed person's spirit in Benin Kingdom. It is usually heralded by public display of the departed person's influence during their sojourn on earth. The display of a human effigy symbolizing the departed royal matriarch was preceded by the Oba of Benin, who led the procession from his palace to the Immortal Shrine at King Square in Benin City, where he offered prayers for the repose of the soul of the Queen Mother, Ioba Ewai II. Thereafter, the priest assigned to the Immortal Shrine offered Oba Ewai II items for Isoton on behalf of his family. However, chalk, known as Uri, represented a mixture from royal fans after ancestral spirits were invoked to bear witness and announce his arrival. On his way home, Oba Ewai paid tributes at various pilgrimage sites, including Queen Idia Tomb, the Side Oba Market, where a cheerful crowd of traders abandoned their wares to catch a glimpse of the royal personage and join in the celebration.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
bully we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TM. I will demonstrate into the discussion for today. Well, the first discussion segment, we're taking a look at what is happening in the oil and gas industry. Yes, Aliko Dangote petitioned Farouk due to one or two allegations. People are thinking that was just mere allegations. All of a sudden, there was a cashback, or let's say a blowback, so to speak, at the presidency through the special advisor on information, yes, Onamuga, said both men indicted, they've resigned. Now, just like ask him, is it that the corruption in the oil and gas industry got into a certain stage whereby the blind can see it, even the deaf can hear? What should be done about it? Do you feel that resignation is just the beginning? Something more drastic should be done to these men? Lots and lots of questions. Now we talk about party affiliation. Remember, Ngige has been detained right now because of the same misappropriation of XYZ funds. How come these men resign? Nobody said anything about it. All this and more we'll take a look at under this topic on Nathan the Wrath in the oil and gas industry, the suspension of Farouk and Komalofe. How will it affect us as Nigerians? With me here in the studio, standing from my extreme left, I have a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Honorable Derek Ohunwago. Derek, it's a pleasure for you to join us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Good morning to you.
So very close to him, our political gladiator. Join me to welcome Festus Ekinoyamedo. Yeah, it's a sentence, you know. Welcome, Festus.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning.
And of course, the PRO of Oedo local government, they call it the voice of the masses. Join me to welcome Comrade Okoro Osaho Obaraye.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, viewers at home. It's a pleasure to be here.
And join us
of the season too.
All right. Yes, Christmas really. Yeah. You know. Yeah, Christmas really. And join us virtually. Yeah, is a one-time local government boss. Yes, he got local government. A political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Honorable Ehi Igariba. Honorable, good morning and compliments of the season.
Good morning, Wilson. Thanks for having me. Happy Yuletide season.
All right, thank you so much. Now let's start off this discussion on Nathan the Wrath in the oil and gas industry, resignation of Farouk and Komalofe. People have been talking about this, saying it took an Aliko Dangote to shine, or let's say point at the wrath in the oil and gas industry. Now, just been complaining about this. You get your XYZ billions unaccounted for. Nobody said anything about it until Aliko Dangote stepped into the particular situation, and all hell in court right now was let. Before we dive into the resignation, what do you feel about this concept of corruption eating deep into the fabric of the upstream, midstream, and downstream sector? Let me start off from Owago Derek. What's your take on all this?
Actually, the issue was previously raised by a civil society group last year, concerning how he's spending much more than he earns for the education of his children. Yes, like you said, he took an Aliko Dangote for all hell to break loose. Because the petition was submitted on the 14th, by 16th, he had resigned. It took like 48 hours for him to resign. Between 48 and 76 hours, he had already resigned. Then on the 19th, 5 days later, the new regulatory bosses have been sworn in by the Senate. So the speed, I would say, was unprecedented with regards to Nigerians and Nigerians, and Nigeria doing the right thing, when accusation of corruption hits a very influential individual. And we are talking of upstream sector. You will recall that Farouk Ahmed had come on air to falsely accuse the Dangote refinery of producing substandard, gasoline, PMS, and what have you. He accused Dangote refinery of producing diesel. That is, diesel was between 650 to 1,200 ppm, which is the unit for measuring, content of sulfur in the diesel or gasoline. And luck ran out of him because within 48 hours of making such accusation, the House of Representatives engaged a private laboratory facility to go and confirm this accusation during their oversight function. And upon reaching Dangote refinery, they tested a sample of the Dangote diesel and discovered it was just 87.7 ppm, quantity of sulfur, as against what Farouk said between 650 and 1,200. So you can imagine that. Then he also stated, that is Ahmed Farouk also stated, that the foreign diesel was much more better than that of the Dangote refinery. When they tested three different samples of foreign diesel that was imported into Nigeria. The first one tested, they confirmed that it was 1,800 ppm, that's the unit of sulfur content in it. Meanwhile, what our regulation states that is fit for Nigerian consumption is around 100 ppm. When they tested the second one, it was 2,000 ppm. When they tested the third one, it was 2,100 ppm. You understand me? So Ahmed Farouk did not just only accuse the Dangote refinery falsely, he also inverted the situation in favor of the foreign importers of petroleum products. What does that tell you? That tells you that he has vested interest in ensuring that the Dangote refinery does not work, which is the Nigerian factor. I don't know how and why regulators will kick against local content. And you and I know that local content today, if you ask me, is the last chance for industrialization for Nigeria. If we do not protect our own, forget people are saying the man is a monopolist, but somebody has seen an opportunity for job creation, for saving our naira. Do you know that Nigeria spent $80 billion to import petrol for a period of, I think, 3 years? $18 billion. Whereas we could have localized this production and strengthened our naira. Being a smart businessman, saw the opportunity. It's not as if it's very patriotic, but he saw an opportunity that will also be beneficial to the Nigerian economy, both the micro economy of the Nigerian economic landscape, and he invested in it. What would have expected the regulators and government to do is to support it. This is what is attainable everywhere all around the world. You must support local production so that your naira, our naira, will continue to strengthen against the dollar. And you will see that whether we like it or not, this Dangote refinery, because it's been churning out products in gasoline, PMS, and what have you, the naira for a very long time now have been quite stable. Quite stable. So I think it was high time, for example, to be shown with the likes of Ahmed Farouk. Right. And I'm glad that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, took up the initiative, because after the President invited him to Asoro, the same day he resigned. So I'm glad that Nigeria got it right this time around.
I'll come back to you, Derek. Well, Festus, you heard him openly remark talking about the fight, so to speak, between Farouk trying to undermine the Dangote refinery, giving false allegation that was later proven to be real false because of the tests conducted by various industries to ascertain the credibility of the Dangote product. Now, talking about the rot, is it a personal vendetta against Dangote himself, or against the industry, or the cabals were the one that really pushed Farouk to do what he did to Dangote, making claims that his products are substandard and that foreign imported, or let's say foreign fuel, petrol, they are far better than Aliko Dangote's?
You see, we are in a country where a lot of persons don't want Nigeria to work. So when I see Dangote fighting these people, I'm happy because you and I can't fight them. When you check all over the world, after the government power, all over the world, the other place you have power is the oil power. Inside the oil, you have expertise power and political power. And it is the political power that controls every other aspect. I once told you on this here that one man make nothing less than, there are men that make above $10,000 from oil per day. There are those that make $100,000 from oil per day. And just imagine Farouk paying about $50 million US just for school fees. 5 million. Sorry, 5 million. So you understand that our assertion was right, that these people actually make enough money. The issue is this: if it were to be an ordinary man that petitioned Farouk, maybe the matter would still be slugging. But you see a businessman like Dangote coming up to speak. Don't forget, Dangote is not the man that loves to talk on air. If you observe Dangote as a person, he's not camera friendly. He loves to do his things, if possibly in the covert mix. But the news begins to come out for everybody to see. The issue is this: they don't want a refinery to work. Because if a refinery work, they will not be making the money they are making. But Dangote came up and said, okay, I want to invest on it. There was a time Dangote said, I regretted investing in this place because problems were coming from different sides. I am happy we are just seeing the fight. The fight is going to be long, though. By the special grace of God, next year, Rabiu refinery may also come up. So there's going to be another fight. They're talking about monopoly. We don't need, we are not, this is not a monopoly fight, because we have refineries that are not working. Today they'll tell us it's working, tomorrow it's not working. Today is working, tomorrow is not working. So nobody is not coming to monopolize the oil sector. No. If you want to import, import. I guess yesterday, Ipman came up and said, our members now can go and buy oil from Dangote, and they were planning to invest in refinery. It is power past power.
Like a power play.
Yes. The political power within the reach of Dangote and the money he has have settled a lot of things for him. An ordinary man cannot just come up and invest in it and be flying like this. We are expecting more. More revelation will be coming. Because this is a country that people have decided to say the oil sector is for us. We do it the way we want. How will a man come up and start giving false claim? Your own refinery here. You are telling people that whatever that is coming back from there is not up to standard. That's the man that don't want this country to move forward. I'm surprised that the EFCC by now have not invited him. If they are doing investigation, they should be fast.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that aspect. Welcome to the chorus of now. What do you feel about this development?
On which side?
We're talking about the Farouk, the Dangote, and of course what led to the resignation of Farouk and Komolafe. When you did dive deep into the particular situation, some are saying the rot in the upstream, downstream, midstream sector in the oil and gas industry has it been so deep that Farouk and Komolafe, they are just one of 1,000 or 100 in this particular case.
Yeah, I think the second Farouk on this oil sector, we had the first Farouk. Yeah, on this same oil money, and he spent some time, and he's a free man again. And we have another Farouk also coming up again to sabotage the entire system. It goes to tell you about power play. We're lucky this time that two giants fought, and the ground didn't suffer. The man called Farouk, known not to enemy of the Nigeria state. Why did I call him enemy of the Nigeria state is that Dangote might not be on the good books of everybody, but to some of us is on our good books. Reason is simple. We have a man who, after the government of Nigeria, is the second highest employer of labor. Apart from Nigeria government, there's no other. Dangote staff are more than 30 states. Let's say if we have each state in Nigeria, none, apart from Lagos or Abuja, has the staff strength of Dangote refinery. Because even before now, we had a man who bought 40 trucks. Is it 40 or 4,000 trucks? 4,000 trucks. That 4,000 trucks is going to take 4,000 staff, and he bought to them. That's about 8,000 people. 8,000. So if he once had, some local government don't have 1,000 staff. So we have an individual having 8,000 staff. We are using this 8,000 because this is the one we know. We are not talking about the sugar. We are not talking about the cement. We are talking about the truck he just bought. So it goes to tell you that if we have somebody already boasting of 8,000, without exaggeration, this is a man that has neatly above 200,000 staffs on his payroll. So it's not somebody Nigeria should joke with at all. That is already, it's a government of its own. It can decide if he was in already local government, if this is business was in already local government, it's already a force to reckon with politically, because wherever that 8,000 people are voting is going to show anywhere they go to vote. So for the Farouk to have told the team also goes to tell you that Farouk was a very greedy person, because if he had also followed Dangote and say, okay, this is how you should go and support, Dangote would have employed more strength of people. Dangote would not have had problems with the staff, people telling the staff to become a member of union. So Farouk tried to demystify him in all angles, but because God is not man and man is not God, before Farouk planned there, Dangote was on the other place. And it also goes to tell you that it depends on who speaks. Last year, before now, people petitioned Farouk on this same issue. The petition did not fly. But when Dangote now shouted, because we also have a listening president who also didn't believe in, let's see what is happening, God saved us, Farouk quickly resigned. But I think the president has not done well, because what I expected was that the day Farouk got to also work to see him, he was not supposed to leave because of the gray areas. He was supposed to ask him some salient questions. He would have no way, because why will you leave when Wilson Amasa, who works in a private station called ITV, the children attends a school where he pays about ₦1 million annually? So it's good you ask. Wilson Amasa, your salary is so. How come a child, just one, you see, you spend $1 million, which is virtually a year's salary of yours, and not just one, about 2 or 3. So if the president does not ask, who is supposed to ask? Is it me? So the president didn't do that well. And he goes to also tell you about tribalism. What Farouk has done, I'm not sure if he did 1/4. I'm not sure. I get it now. That we are seeing him coming to EFCC today, going tomorrow, DSS next tomorrow, the other one tomorrow. Farouk should not just be left alone, because who also tell you that the person that has been sworn in now will not also grow wings again tomorrow to start wishing people that is trying to make Nigeria a better place? Because the reason is not far-fetched. If my son Osaini stays this table and I spank him openly in everybody's presence, tomorrow, if your child comes with you and see me spanking my son standing this table, your son will not want to be at that table. The reason is because he knows that if the child of this man who owns this table does this thing, and this is the reaction of this man, what about me, who is not a relative of this child? So the president would have also done something very, very salient of our situation, because this oil sector has been one avenue where people right from 1960, not yesterday, has been siphoning Nigeria's common, what God gave us to feed with. Certain case of example, we have people who never know what concerns oil, that were giving oil wells, and that today they are richer than some states, boasting and doing what. Do you know what oil wells are not supposed to be for individual in a state society? But in Nigeria, it's being given to people either through relationship, because it's my side chick or my in-law. They just give you what will benefit generations yet unborn to an individual. And by the time the individual gets it, you start hearing forebears, the person buying private jet, going to Banana, living on Nigeria's issue. Go and check. We never worked anywhere before, just because the government, being political or military, gave he or she an oil well. The person is no longer answerable to anybody. Okay. So Nigeria government should again sit down, use Farouk as a case study to say never again will anybody come and disturb this oil issue. Because if Tinubu tries his best, forget about this refinery issue. We should stop lying to Nigeria. Nigeria should sell off our refinery. The reason is because if Dangote has been able to do this now, to say my phone is selling for this, if about 8 to 10 persons enter this business tomorrow, we see you are going to sit here, they will come and give you fuel. I'll give you a bag of rice for Christmas for you to just buy the fuel.
All right, I'll come back to you, Okoro Saboy. Now let's get to hear from Honorable Ehi. Now, what do you feel about all this? The wrath in the oil and gas industry, both the upstream, midstream, and of course downstream sector.
Thank you very much for having me. This has been one of Nigeria's biggest problems. As a matter of fact, you want to call it it's like a Dutch disease, where you have excess of resources, but the people suffer so much due to misappropriation, embezzlement, corruption, and for the most part, nepotism. What do I mean by nepotism? I will even just draw from what my brother Osahu Awarayi just said lastly. If you look at the indiscretion that took place during the allocation of oil wells, the slap on the faces of the people of the Niger Delta who suffer immense environmental degradation. And look at the percentage of those on the Niger Delta that own oil well. It's laughable, it's pitiable, and very sad that people from Maiduguri State, from the core north, let me not even say specifically state any state, but people from the northern part of the country own at least 80% of the oil blocks, and many of them maybe have never been to the Niger Delta. They cannot identify or even recognize the struggles of the people of the Niger Delta. They don't know the pains they are going through. They don't know that their environments are being destroyed. Their means of livelihood are being destroyed. And what God gave to them as a blessing has now become a curse. What do people in the Niger Delta get? Maybe heading a committee on pipeline protection. Just protect the pipeline for us to siphon your natural resources away. That is what we get. The issue of Farouk has been long coming. I just want to appreciate President Tinubu and the National Assembly for being very proactive, for moving very speedily, and more importantly, I want to appreciate the nationalistic stand of Aliko Dangote, because he could have said, let's settle this in-house, being that this man is a Muslim Northerner, just like I am. Of course, if a man can spend $5 million to educate just 4 kids in a foreign tertiary institution, that tells you he's in the upper echelon of elites in this country, and therefore he will have access to people very well positioned. So he could have, you know, said, let's just deal with this behind the scene. But he decided to address a press conference. Like, you know, it's not often that Dangote addresses a press conference. And because of who Dangote is, the richest man in Africa, when he speaks, the whole world listens because it has impact on Nigeria's economy, on our diplomacy, and a whole lot of issues. Then you have, okay, I've been to like the real conspirators are only using people like Farouk as a pawn in the chessboard. What do I mean? If you go to a country like Belgium, for instance, you know, somewhere outside of Antwerp, they have one of the largest refineries in the world. That refinery, they are refining crude oil. But do they have crude oil? No. So most of the crude oil, all of this crude oil that are making their way out of the country illegally, end up in all of this.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at this particular topic on ethane, the vault in the oil and gas industry. Now, Derek, let me come to you. Some are saying the way and manner these two men did a resignation, there is more to it. That maybe, just maybe, someone's trying to cover up. That nobody wants Nigerians to know the amount involved, how deep the rot has eaten into the oil and gas industry. They have the opinion that they're trying to cover up for these guys because nobody wants to give account of stewardship of what transpired in the tenure of Farouk and Komolafe. What's your own take on this assertion?
Of course, there's more to it. Of course, always there's more to it. You recall that sometime last year, the 15% tariff on import of refined products, petroleum products, was introduced, it was this Farouk Ahmed that thwarted it when the federal government, tried to introduce it. Then recently, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria also, gave an order that from a certain time, 15% to be charged for, imported oil products. And before you know it, we started having issues with President Trump. Or some people are saying it connects to how the international community suddenly started looking into the decade-long genocidal effect of the Fulani herdsmen and Islamic jihadists. It's, allegedly do. But what am I trying to say? The president was trying to protect the local production of refined petroleum, products. But some folks will not have it. So just like earlier stated by Honorable Igariwa, that Farouk is likely a pawn in this chess game of the
cabal,
downstream, midstream and downstream sector. Meanwhile, by saying midstream, we mean the process of transporting the already extracted crude oil, the process of transporting it and refining it, that's the midstream, the entire value chain. Then the downstream sector is the process of marketing and consumption of that product. So it was as if, like I said, Farouk is a pawn in the game of this international cabal that affects the welfare of the Nigerian people, in the sense that there has been a lot of theft in the downstream sector. There have been a lot of, sabotage in our refineries. We call that Nigeria 4 refineries that are non-functional. As of today, they have zero output. And meanwhile, over $18 billion have been spent with an attempt to resuscitating it. And if you look at that amount that has been spent for a period spanning over 2 decades, you will find that the real value of that $18 billion is more than $100 billion, which could have, helped to set up to 5 refineries of Dangote refinery standard. So what am I, trying to say? Farouk being a pawn in this chess game of international sabotage of our Nigeria downstream, upstream, and midstream sector had a semblance of what they call immunity. He felt he was untouchable, so that gave him some form of laxity to operate freely, to behave as if he's untouchable, to the extent he challenges the president's decision to slap 15% tariff on imported oil products. So it was, becoming very unbearable. You will also recall that the National Assembly uncovered over $300 billion of missing, monies, accruable from our downstream sector. By downstream sector, we mean the process of extracting crude oil from the soil. Nigeria lost a lot of money from that process. And because of this bunkering vandalism of our crude oil facility, Nigeria has never been able to meet up to its OPEC quota. Even though OPEC gave us about 2.1 million
barrels per day,
for us to sell to the international market. We only managed to get up to 1.7 million barrels per day of production, against what we projected 2.1 million barrels for our, current budget. So some of this sabotage is accruable to the high-handedness of the regulators. And these regulators, that of the Farouk and the other individual regulating the upstream and the other one regulating the midstream and downstream sector, have not been able to protect the interest of Nigeria as a nation and Nigerians as consumers of this product. And this is the core mandate for which they were appointed. You know, so this is quite unfortunate that the people who were supposed to protect us are the ones that have been seen to be collaborating with foreigners.
All right.
You know, protecting the interest of refineries in Belgium and Netherlands so that they can continue to sell substandard products. Do you know that the diesel that those refineries in Antwerp, you know, brings to Nigeria is illegal?
Okay.
To use it in the same country where they are refining.
Fine. Okay, fine. Now I'll come back to you, Honorable Derek. Thank you so much for that expose. Now talking about corruption, refining, upstream, downstream, midstream. Like what Honorable Yegariba said, of which and Derek, attested to it, that Farouk might just be one of the pawns that they are using to undermine Nigerian productivity in terms of the oil and gas industry. Komolafe also, maybe they have this link. So what robs one affected the other. Trump, they just needed to, be let off the hook, so to speak. Now, how can this rot be taken care of? As it's in so deep that Nigerians are beginning to use the method of cover-up, because I'm saying this is cover-up that Farouk and Komolafe should be called upon to give answers. Why the cover-up by telling them to resign?
Wincy, if you look from another angle, I guess it's the first time we're actually seeing a public officer that is resigning due to allegation coming up against him. The rot is not just something that is only within the circle of Farouk and Benga, no. This is a country where my leader here said, imagine you giving an oil well to an individual. Let's start from there. If I wake up and I am asked, okay, Festus, you are the owner of this oil well in the ITV premises. You've given me power. And when power comes, you have to protect it. So there are a lot of interests. And these interests are all crashing now. They are crashing because one of the Africa's richest man is taking over the petroleum industry. The man has decided to invest in it. So it's a clash of power, and it's going to continue for a long time. Like I said, next year we're going to see a different fight, because Rabiu is going to come up with his petrochemical industry and begin to refine, and that one will start another fight again. In our community, where we have oil, are we actually enjoying it? No. We are not feeling the presence of that oil because there is a lot of rot in it. One man holding an oil well, another man giving contracts, but when it's time to protect pipeline, when they want to remove the goods from the soil to another place, then they now call us. That's not how it ought to be. So we are all happy. Many of us are happy. We are happy because we are waiting for the fight to continue. Farouk is phase one. Those behind it are much. The three levels, you see them, the upstream, downstream, and the midstream, there are different gladiators. And let me tell you these things. All of them have political power. The reason why the president is keeping me is because the president decided to give to Nigerians what is due them. That's why when he came, he said, we can't be importing oil into Nigeria and they will land in Benin Republic. That was the first fight. But if you observe, then we were the one bearing the fight. The pain came back to us because when subsidy was removed, Nigerians had to start buying fuel above 800 naira. But we are glad that today the price is gradually coming down. And the more they fight, the more we are going to see reduction in the price of PMS and other petrochemical products. So, President has started the fight by giving that levy, that priority to individuals that want to invest in petrochemical industries. So those gladiators now are in problem. But what we want to say of Nigeria is this: let it be an open investigation if there is need. Farouk, an allegation has been leveled against you. I don't know what the EFCC is still waiting for. Because whenever the book is open, others will follow. Farouk should talk. There is need for that man to come up and say, okay, this has been what we'll be doing. This is how I'll be getting the money. On the norm, okay, imagine the other day we're talking about the CAC director receiving less than 600,000 a month, but having estate in Abuja. So at times I tell some persons, our problem as Nigeria is not the president. Individuals giving different parastatals. You've been made a director, go and hold this place. You are supposed to be accountable, not to the president, but to Nigerians. But you see, Nigeria, whenever we are giving positions to hold, that's when we begin to think of, we never first succeed, now we must succeed. You're going to succeed with our money. So, the oil sector, there is a lot going on there. A lot. That's why you see Ipman fighting Dangote the other time. That led to what my brother said. Dangote said, no, you can't do this. It leads to another empowerment. He was saying 8,000 empowerment. No. Each tanker drive, lorry, have 2 motorboy at least with 1 driver. And there are cases for those going to the north. We have 2 drivers. So there is no way we are going to have 4,000 trucks with less than 13,000 people being employed. So the more they fight, the more we, the citizens, are happy.
All right. I'll come back to you. Now, talking about the fight, some are saying that this fight is not a fight against the rot in the oil and gas industry. It's a fight for survivors, fight for selfish end. Now, what's your take on that?
Fight is fight. Fight is fight.
The fight is fight.
You blow person, you slap person, a fight. Even when you shout, you might not even just be physical. What did they do you? I get it now. It's a fight. So the fight, what is the better thing is the fight should at least end well and put food on our table. Because if it was not the fight of Ipman saying Dangote drivers must become members of their body and they threatened to go on strike. The strike they didn't go for the commoners. The strike they didn't go for the tankers that fell at Auchi to kill people. The fight they didn't go for government to fix road. Dangote must do this. And the man to answer them said, I will. They are my staff. Since I drove them, I'm receiving them back. So we are going to put them straight of business. It took them from that point straight to any other. Yes.
From oil to cement.
I get it now, go to the spaghetti, go and start doing any other job. You are still my person. I trust Nigerians. Thank God for the job. They would never ever talk again. Wherever they sit down now, if you are talking about anything or your mandate, we shall start to keep quiet. Because the food nearly left their table. Because of army ball, we want to know. So Dangote again punishing the entire system to say you are not even more increase the number of inflow. So the new ones, have you seen Dangote's truck? The new one they are buying. If you see it, you will know that this is comfortability at its best. I have seen some few ones because even the comfortability is something welcoming. So it goes to tell you that if was Dangote, as we speak now, because of this fight and everybody looking at him, we know what to do anything less. Don't be surprised on Xmas Day or New Year Day, Dangote remove 100 naira again from the said 8 or 600 naira is already selling. Just for Nigerians to enjoy, because it's his own. So he decides what to gain. He can say, because I have gained, I want to do this. He can say, because my friend Kowawe is celebrating his birthday in Benin. For Benin resident, buy fuel on Monday for 200 naira. Even at loss, it's nobody's business, it's his own. So that is, it goes to tell you, if more people enter the system, we see just wise, if more people enter, it's Dangote today. If we have about 4, look at what has happened to Smith. Look at what happened to GSM. Look at what happened to Line. There was a time some of us bought to call for 40,000. 40,000. Then Then Glo came and Glo said, you will still pay that one, but you pay small. Once you buy, they'll give you dash. Once you buy credit, you put in, they subtract. You put in, they subtract, depending on 2, 3, 4 years. Some people also bought in that format. As we speak today, Wilson, if somebody dash you a SIM card, you might not take it because it's of no use to you. There's nothing you want to use it to do.
All right.
So if more people also enter this business tomorrow, we are going to see some people coming to say, okay, if you come and buy fuel in my place, I will give you lunch. If you buy fuel in my place, I will service your car free for you, just to attract you. Because why? He knows that if he does not give you something good, there's another person already waiting the next door. So that is why people like Dangote needs federal government backup more than before. Because this government, since inception, there is no way this government can employ 10,000 people once. It's impossible.
All right. I'll come back to you.
But Dangote is doing it as if he's sharing money to give work. Dangote, just before we can talk about it in 10 20 days, he can buy 50 trucks again. And that's already 50%. What he's not going to drive it himself. Oh, and my brother was saying 30,000. I don't want to say it as a politician. I get it now. If you give somebody one job, if I give Wilson Master a job, Wilson has a wife, Wilson has a friend, depending on the friend. For some people, they have side chicks. I get it now. Those side chicks have children. Then some people have where they belong. So as an individual, if you give one, you're already giving minimum 10.
Yes.
Minimum 10.
All right.
So for 4,000 church people, and outside man does not get married to one person. So it goes to tell you that 4,000 is about 4 times 10, making about 400,000 persons off the streets, looking at Dangote alone. So you think that the prayer for Dangote is not for me and you. There are so many people praying for him to live long, because month end, their children will go to school, is Dangote. They will eat, is Dangote. They will buy clothes, is Dangote. So we need to make sure that the man Dangote is protected. In a sane society, people like Dangote are supposed to be celebrated. But I don't see why people like Farouk want to make a fool of himself by demeaning Dangote.
I'll come back to it. Let's get to hear from Honorable Egareva. Still on this particular topic, do you feel that the rough in the oil and gas industry can be eradicated, or let's say reduced to the barest minimum?
Well, it's going to be a tough one, in the sense that the international conspiracy against Nigeria is monumental. And this is existential for several key sectors in some European and even Asian countries that do not produce crude oil. Nigeria has been a hotbed for them, where they get some of these illicit products over the years. And attempting now to sum up the political will to put a stop to this is facing stiff resistance from the international community. So the Nigerian players you see giving petience, if you look further into maybe a case of Farouk, you probably find out that the payment for the children's fees maybe directly did not come out from his pockets. It was just an incentive maybe offered him to compromise the Nigerian system so they can have their way. Come on, choose a school around the world and we'll foot the bill for you, for your children. And he falls for it. Take your mind back to this allegation against Shell and Eni, and where about $1.1 billion was allegedly, taken. The former Nigerian Petroleum Minister Dan Etete, was involved at the time. This case went up to a Milan courts, and the directors from Shell and Eni, they said they had no case to answer. Do you understand that? They said they had no case to answer. But what followed in the aftermath of that will shock you, that some of those prosecutors were not demoted amidst accusation that they withheld evidence from prosecutors. That is what has now led to the appeal, which has not been finalized. You want to go back to the arbitration that went on in the Netherlands, that had to do with the former Attorney General of our country and Minister of Justice, Mohamed Adoke. You know, that also involved about $1 billion again. And there are cases of assets freezing in the UK. So you have this gang up against Nigeria because they've been getting cheap source of crude from Nigeria. So all of these times you hear about illegal refineries, crude oil thefts, somebody have to buy. If you steal and you don't have a buyer, then you'll be discouraged from stealing. But there are a lot of willing buyers of these products. But thank God for Dangote. If that refinery did not come upstream and the other one that is being built by BOA, we were never going to come to the end of this. You had a lot of billionaires who bring empty ships to Nigeria and they are just recorded as they haven't brought petroleum products. But thank God that anomaly has stopped. As a matter of fact, I think the Senate should review the penalty for crude oil theft. They should review the penalty for sabotage. This is national sabotage in the sense that why anyone on earth would preach, even though yes, we have a free market economy, but why you would preach for destroying the Naira? Because how do you destroy the Naira? By making us spend excessive dollars and foreign exchange to bring goods or services that can be produced in Nigeria. That means you are discouraging local production, which is Dangote refinery, and encouraging foreign production, which is importing petroleum products from the diaspora. You know, that is inimical to progress, inimical to development in our country and developing the petroleum sector to bring finished products to the gas stations in Nigeria. So the president, I'm happy that he's nipped this in the bud and he didn't look at typically what people would look, because the other gentleman, Gbenga Komolafe, is from the Southwest. The president did not consider that, oh, this man is from my own geopolitical zone. For that reason, let's look for a way to. No, he didn't cover him up. He was roped in with Farouk and off they went. Now it also behoves on the our EFCC to swiftly investigate, and we beg our judiciary that when the case comes to them for adjudication, they should dispense with it and give them the most severe punishment so that it will serve as a deterrent to others who are still engaged in this crime against Nigeria and Nigerians. It should serve as a deterrent, one, and two, they should also investigate further, because they are definitely not alone. They are definitely not alone. Others are complicit. They are still within the system, and they are going to attempt to keep fighting the system. So there should be a thorough cleansing of our petroleum sector, especially with regards to Nigerian NNPC and all the related agencies.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable. Now, to call it a wrap on this thing, we're going to have something else to talk about local government autonomy and the rest of them. What advice would you have for Mr. President? Because I say that Mr. President is the one directly in charge. After all, the Minister of Petroleum is under his care. So how would you be blaming Farouk or Komolafe? They're like, you know, a Minister for Petroleum from State, Heineken, Lukmugbiri, also that all of them should be held accountable. Now, what do you say about this, Derek?
Before I advise the president, let me put it on record that Nigeria is the only country in the world that does not meter its upstream petroleum products. That is, when we extract the crude oil from underground, there is no meter on that pump to know the number of liters of petrol that is coming out. Most of the figures that we have today is speculatory. Estimated. Only those figures that are declared, legitimately declared, are the ones that we have in. So a country who is serious about upscaling its natural resources to the benefit of its people must meter their pumps at the upstream level. Every country in the world who are involved in crude oil production meters their crude oil process or production. Also, countries like China stipulate death sentence, death penalty for corrupt public officials. Because when you are a corrupt public official, the value chain is that it will affect everybody in the country negatively. because you are stealing from everybody. Whereas somebody that stole GSM somewhere in, I think, those states, you know, not even with a gun, I think with knife, he was charged as a armed robber and slapped with death sentence. The person stole from an individual. Meanwhile, public office holders steal from the entire country, and most of the time, they are just giving a slap on the wrist or giving fine to pay. So a country that is serious about improving the indices of human health indices or life expectancy or economic upliftment of its people must look at these critical areas and ensure that the maximum penalty is given to those who try to sabotage our common patrimony.
All right.
The president must ensure that going forward, the president is a big man, even before he became governor many years ago, he's a big man, his generation is already secure. He should ensure that the legacy of anti-corruption that Nigeria seriously needs now, which is to ensuring that anybody that steals from the country should be killed. He should sponsor an executive order to the National Assembly.
There's penalty.
Yes, for public officers stealing from the nation.
Okay.
That is the best way to see Nigeria, you know, transforming from this third world nation that we are to a first world nation. Because that is one of the things that countries like China did.
Yeah.
That within 30 years, China, who was below Nigeria in all the indices of human capital development, health indices and what have you, rose from there to becoming a first world
nation. Thank you. Well, Festus, you heard him, he said death sentence. And what do you have to add? Also, if you want to take a look at the way Farouk and Komolafe were treated, someone said this was a slap on the wrist, that the EFCC should go after them to ask questions, if possible, detain them to get answers. What do you have to say about that?
My leader has said something before. Living Aso Rock at all, to me, was a problem. What was the essence of going there? That you enter the EFCC should escort you out. From there, you begin to face investigation. And coming to the issue of death sentence, I get that as overdue. Because you cannot actually sentence a man that just stole fowl to 7 years imprisonment, and you say you that receive it, you know it's a different crime. Receiving stolen property is ×2 of he that stole. And a man that has stolen from all of us. Although the issue of Farouk is something we cannot just say because the law have not actually proven him guilty. But I am sure if there is a death sentence on stealing public funds, Nigeria is going to be better. Then we will not be asking the judiciary like what Mr. Yaf said. The judiciary should open their eyes more and understand that whenever wherever the country is going, if it's going to the right direction, they will enjoy it. If it's going to the wrong direction, they're going to enjoy it. And also, Mr. President should think about the illegal oil refinery we're having inside those small cliques. There is need for us as a country to look inward and see what we can do with them. They are not helping issues. Destroying them is not helping issues. Because these people have potentials. There is need for us to annex them. There is need for the government to even invest more on it. I guess that's going to help us a lot. Instead of going to the bush, they are refining oil here, you begin to destroy them, you arrest them. If you arrest 100, because there is hunger in the land, another 200 will still go back.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Barai, what's your take? Talking about trying to end this. Remember that the Ministry of Petroleum is under Mr. President. Someone say, Mr. President, you might not be, less guilty of the crime of Farouk or Komolafe because they are under you. That you are the one taking care of the particular ministry. So, what should be done?
Yeah, thank you so much. What my brother Derek has said, if it was pounded yam, you don't need a better soup. If it was soup, you don't also need a pounded yam. Are you getting it now? Do very drastic, but it's the truth. You must, we'll be preaching about reorientation, but it's like it's taking everybody. My late father spoke about it. My grandfather spoke about it. Now I'm also speaking about it. My child will also come one day to speak about it. So it's that time we just take the bull by the horn, go there and say, this is it. Are you getting it now? Because until we drastically change the narrative, it can't be changed. Are you getting it? We must also just bear the pain. Are you getting it now? To say, okay, this boy that was small, that we're supposed to just snip at the bud, is grown. So instead of going to spoil the hand, why not just go to the source, spoil it and kill it once? If what has happened to the Nigerian oil sector for donkey years happens to American state as a state, America will not be alive till date. But because God loves us, that is why we are still breathing till this very point. If you see what happens in the creeks of Niger Delta, go to Delta State Warri now and see. There are some group of people buying anything buyable. They don't price. If those people that are giving the crumbs in this oil sector can buy properties worth billions without pricing in the heart of Delta, what about those that has the oil well? Those people can tie virtually all the roads in the local government without sweating. So if these people have been doing this, what is their kickback to where they live, to where these things are? What stops people, the villages with oil well having a standard airport, having an helipad, having a private university, a good university from that individual? To say, okay, Wisdom Marshal, we gave you the oil well that is at Igosa community. And Wisdom Marshal has been on that for, let's say, 5 to 10 years. You've seen that this thing has changed you from a commoner to a known person. When you are coming to the place, you look for soldiers, you look for big cars to pass the bad roads to the place. What stops Wisdom Marshal to say, okay, this place, let it have the best hotels so that my friends who can come stay here and watch our business grow. Let it have the best schools. Let my kids be going here. Let this environment, because we'll see, if you take your time to go to, there's a place in Port Harcourt where these oil workers work, Bonny Camp.
Bonny, yeah.
If you go to Bonny, I'm not sure you believe you still live in Nigeria. Because in Bonny, there's nothing like NEPA failure. There's nothing like bad road. Once the helipad picks you from Port Harcourt and drop you at Bonny, you are already in a place called comfortable.
You're right
Your
about
food,
it.
Everything is good.
But one
so
thing,
if Bonny can be like that, if people walked on Bonny, how come Igosa? Why can't we also have a helipad dropping you at Igosa and everything is fine?
Thank you.
So I support the take off. If you take, you die. Are you getting it now?
All right.
You don't need to go. EFCC should be scrapped. It just the law is there. Let's go back to the days of Anini and Co. Once the court says you've done this, let's just say, okay, bye-bye.
Interesting.
Your will.
All right, well, Bonny is quite hot. I've been there. Several is quite hot, but the light issue, you're right about the constant power supply. Well, let's get to it from Honorable Ehi Eyariba. Do you subscribe to the death penalty?
Well, as a Christian, I would advocate for maximum punishment, but not an extremist one like death penalty. But I do believe strongly that the baseline should be life imprisonment for corruption and embezzlement, because massive embezzlement, bribery, all this diversion of our oil revenues, is sabotaging our economy, are hindering national development, despite the vast oil wealth that we have. Therefore, there's going to be consequences. If there are no consequences for actions, then those actions will continue unhindered. Considering this, we should have, because at the end of the day, when you are stealing from the Nigerian people, corruption is like killing almost every Nigerian, reducing our life expectancy. Our roads are bad. We don't have enough hospitals. We don't have medical personnel. It's across board, like Honorable Derek Uwawu said. You are destroying the very fabric of the society from which you are stealing. Therefore, the consequences before the law must be monumental. That's the only way Nigeria can come out of this system, because there are too many people taking from Nigeria illegally and getting away with it. Someone asked me the other day, I just begged police. I said, well, In the Western climb, what the difference between here and the Western climb is simple. The laws are there. Every human being wants to break the law. People want to drive past that red light if it's possible. The reason they don't is that over there are consequences for actions, because if you are involved in an accident, your insurance is going to go up, points could get deducted from your license could be revoked or suspended. So all of this make people careful when they are on the road. But because there are also no consequences here, such that Nigeria is a place where you can as well kill somebody and you want to pay for the funeral, there are no consequences. So it's the same thing with stealing from the oil sector. So far, no one has been made a scapegoat. There's been no serious government attempt to cleanse that sector, which has further emboldened those who are currently operating to do as their forebears did. Don't forget, the former group managing director of NNPC, Bagdo, how a whole house was stacked with dollars in his hometown, in Katsina. He was never prosecuted because he died. Even though he died, the money still belonged to Nigeria. There's no evidence that that money was refunded back to the country. So everybody feels like it's a free-for-all. Specifically, people from a certain part of this country, northern Nigeria, I don't know the special qualification they have to dominate the critical positions in our oil sector. I don't know the kind of schools they go to where they can come and dominate us in the southern part of Nigeria, specifically the south, where we have the crude, we have everything here. They make sure our refineries don't work, but the pipelines are all working to take away the crude. That is unhindered. They are willing to settle militants. They are willing to give them scholarships just so the crude can flow. But we are not good enough to own oil wells. We are not good enough to be positioned to manage our oil resources. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ehi. Well, he's saying that a death penalty might just be too extreme, but something must be done about it so that all this can stop. Mr. President is in charge of the Ministry of Petroleum, because that is like, linked to the office of Mr. President, though he can really tell one or two persons to occupy X, Y, Z offices to make sure that things go well. And the onus lies on him to hire and fire. Well, maybe they just say, look, rather than firing, just let them go. They should resign. Well, the rot eating deep into the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. Some of opine that is due to cabals, both internal and external cabals, because everybody wants to gain. If individuals start gaining to the detriment of the country, would it be a country for those individuals to live in? Think about it. Nigeria is our own. Our mainstay is oil and gas. We have to do everything not possible to protect it. Some are saying kudos to Aliko Dangote. He fought a good fight that is benefiting Nigerians, but they are scared that all this man will not come up one day to monopolize the downstream sector. That's a fear of independent market as well. Till then, we keep watching and reporting back to you. Right now, I want to go for a break. When we return, it's all about the warning of Mr. President to all governors, not one, all governors of the Federation, saying that local government financial autonomy must be a must. Let me use that phrase, must be a must. We'll be right back after this break.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Ọba Tope.
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said.
So
So
that's-
when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know.
Good morning and welcome to the news update for this time. The Marian Voices Choir of St. Francis Catholic Church, Benin City, has joined the list of choristers who paid a Christmas visit to the Esama of Benin to felicitate with him for the season. Pius Nsogo reports that the group gave a good account of themselves as they rendered Christmas carols while selected dignitaries read the lessons to the delight of their hosts.
With soul-lifting songs, the Marian Voices Choir of St. Francis Catholic Church, Benin City, trailed their host, the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawari Benedium, who could not resist dancing to the melodious tunes. As the music spread the joy of the season, Mrs. Jane Genevieve Amaroboyi read the first lesson from the book of Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 to 10, while Mrs. Eunice Ogbebo took the second lesson from Isaiah chapter 9, verses 2 to 7.
On that day, there shall come forth a shoot from the stump chastened, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
A special solo performance by Mrs. Gloria Anani added color and excitement to the event. The third and fourth lessons were read by Mrs. Tessie Egware, Personal Secretary to the Esama of Benin, and the Executive Director, Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ubaide Nwonse.
Beloved, the grace of God has appeared for the salvation on all men.
When the time had fully come, God sent forth his Son, born of woman, born under the law, to redeem those who were under the law.
The parish priest of St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church, Benin City, Reverend Father Jerome Idebe, took the fifth and final reading from the Gospel of Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 14.
For behold, I bring you good news of a great joy, which will come to all the peoples.
As is customary with the Esama of Benin, the evening was fun-filled and provided the august visitors with the opportunity to enjoy the warm and rich hospitality of the House of Igbinedium. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
A distinguished gathering of top media executives in Edo State on Saturday attended a media luncheon hosted by the vision bearer of Family Intercessory Ministry, Pastor Mrs. Margaret Aboinfo. The event brought together managing directors, zonal directors, editors-in-chief, and other senior media executives from major broadcast stations, online platforms, and print media organizations. Olubafemi Farayola reports.
In her address, the Vision Bearer of Family Intercessory Ministry, Pastor Mrs. Margaret Agbonifo, highlighted the critical role of ethical journalism in nation building. She urged media leaders to adopt a values-driven approach that aligns with Nigeria's cultural and spiritual heritage.
These people are doing so much, and they need to be encouraged. So it's just a way of, as a mother, to encourage them.
The PFN chairman further unveiled a annual program tagged Mother's Decree 18, scheduled to hold every 2nd of January, and solicited the support of the media for effective coverage of the event.
I want to salute the third chief doctor, Gabriel Usawari. I want to also use this video to inform you of our annual program, which you always help me to do. That is Mother's Decree 18.
In his comments, the managing director of ITV and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, commended the Vision Bearer of Family Intercessory Ministry, Pastor Mrs. Margaret Agbonifo, for remarkable impacts on the society through the propagation of the gospel.
Iyemoya is just too close to my church. Iyemoya is official. It is locked down.
In his remarks, the Zonal Director of NTA Benin Network Center, Mrs. Teni Ajayi, and the Managing Director of Edo Broadcasting Service, Sulaiman Alede, assured the division bearer of their continued partnership and support.
Journalism has taught us that we must pursue truth, and that is another aspect of Christianity.
He who does not align with media now will not have the purpose.
The media executives and other guests were entertained at the event. Among the notable attendees were the Managing Director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, the Zonal Director of NTA Benin Network Center, Mrs. Teni Ajayi, the Managing Director of Edo Broadcasting Service, Sulaiman Alede, and the Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Edo State Council, Comrade Festus Alenke, among others. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
There is possibility that many irrigation farmers may not participate in dry season farming this year, following drastic crash in prices of food items and perishable goods in the markets. Mohammed reports that many irrigation farmers are groaning as they count their losses after investing heavily on wet season farming.
Irrigation farming, or dry season farming as it's often called, is said to be a complementary to fill the vacuum created during the wet season. However, the crash in prices of foodstuffs recently has culminated into panicking among dry season farmers for fear of including another round of losses after their experiences in the crops harvested at the wet season farming. Some of them said in Hausa that as prices of farming support items like fertilizer, agrochemicals, among others, continue to soar, the decision by irrigation farmers to abandon cultivation of perishable foods like vegetables may result into their scarcity, thereby multiplying their cost.
Matsalar da muke fuskanta kawai shine na karyewan amfanin gona da shi kanshi kayan gwarin da shanyan namu.
To yanzu hidden ma yanda za a shiga noman ranin mu ake tunanin ta ma ina za a fara. Na farko da yanzu duk wannan ya noman damuna ba shi da jarin da zai iya tafiya noman rani.
They requested that to avert such situations, government, to as a matter of urgency, address the problems associated with high cost of fertilizer, among others.
He's trying to make the price of, the price to be low so that everybody will get it.
Fertilizer will come down for them, so they are able to make it. But when the fertilizer high, are the workers they used to do the farm still high for them, it will affect them.
From Kaduna, Umma Muhammad, ITV News.
And that's it on the news update for this time. Thanks a lot for watching. TMI continues in a moment. Don't go away. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You know, sometimes time just flies when you're discussing issues bothering the country. Yes, yesterday or 2 days ago, Mr. President gave a stern warning to all the governors, not one, all of them, that they should allow local government breathe. Financial autonomy's record talked about it, given the template, given the rule, given the order, but some governors are not following this, if not all. And that is what we want to talk about right now. Time permits. Well, because Honorable Iheghareba was a one-time local government chairman, I think I should start off with him. Honorable, what do you feel about this order? Some call it a threat. Threats. You have two minutes each because of time constraint. Now, what do you feel about this order given by Mr. President?
Well, I think the Supreme Court have spoken about it, so it's really not an order. It's the president reminding the governors on the need to ensure it's complied with, this ruling or judgment, if you will, of the Supreme Court. This is very important because what we usually do in our country, which is a wrong concept, a lot of people think that even if their feet hot at home, they have to blame it on the president. Or in other climes, we all know that development is from bottom to top. Your local government, I always say to people, especially those at the state level, and even sometimes at the federal, if your local governments don't function, make no mistake about it, your attempt at development will be very limited as a state government. And it's very important that you play that critical supervisory role to ensure that your local governments function. And how do they function? First of all, they have to have their funds released to them. Many of the local governments, especially the urban ones, they run at almost zero allocation level. They struggle for funds, and when these funds are withheld, a lot of issues also need to be revisited by Mr. President. For instance, it was during the Obasanjo's administration that they had made the payment of teachers' salaries, allowances, primary school teachers as a first-line charge deduction from the local government. Yes, maybe the federal government should think of a way of getting the state, federal, and local government to pay this instead of putting that huge financial burden on just the local government. It's hindering development. It's hindering the funds that local governments have to develop. And also, the local government, like I said, we are the bedrock for the development in any country. It's an institution. It's also there for leadership training and advancement. But if they don't have funds, they are very limited. And the way the elections are also conducted have to be revisited. It's important that we get the right set of people into our local governments. If you cannot be a governor, you shouldn't be a local government chairman. It's that simple. You need to have the same.
Thank you so much. I know you have so much to say. We have other guests there because of time factor. Honorable Derek, 2 minutes. The order give or reminder, so to speak, by Mr. President to the governors to allow local government breathe in terms of financial autonomy.
Of course, just as stated, but in July 11th, 2024, the Supreme Court gave a landmark judgment that invalidated the provision of Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which gives the state governors regulatory right or authority over the local council, chairman. But this time around, the key it takes on that Supreme Court judgment that number one, the local government will get their federal allocation directly to their accounts, unlike before when they have to go to the state governors monthly to share allocation, because the constitution stipulated previously that they will have a joint account with the state governments. That's number one. Then secondly, the Supreme Court also kicked against caretaker committee that are usually being done by state governors in order to avoid elections.
All right.
That's number two. This time around, say any governor that using caretaker committee should not access, that local government should not access
the
federal
account.
Allocation. Then number three said state governors should no longer, regulate affairs of the local governments. So as a result, the president reminded them that if they refuse to abide by the provision of the judicial precedent, as the Supreme Court gave July 11th, 2024, that he will force them to take a more, difficult road.
Your 2 minutes is up. Thank you so much, Derek. Festus, 2 minutes. I don't have so much to say about this. 2 minutes for press for time.
I want to say we need the governor executive order. That was what he said. They said I will be forced to use an executive
order. Yes.
Why I'm saying this is because we are seeing some states not moving. Let us assume in Edo State presently, let me use it, good or better, APC is my party. We're having local government chairmen. They are supposed to be acting chairmen. Let's wait till after election, they will not begin to fix them. Many of us are just sitting to watch from one side because those we won't have there, from councillor to they'll call themselves chairman, they are supposed to be acting chairman. And we will see some local government where you now have a vice chairman. See, if Nigeria must work, first let's come to the unit to the ward. I have a councillor in my ward. When there is kidnapping in my ward, the councillor should be informed. A viable councillor should know what happened in his ward and report to the local government chairman. This is the problem I have in my ward, and this is what I think should be the solution. Then the local government chairman should relate to the governor, and it need be the governor to the president. So if we want Nigeria to work as a country, I think it is that time we allow these people have their financial autonomy. Then the governor should stop appointing. Let me not say, okay, let me not go there. The governor should stop appointing all over the federation. Situation that will conduct a local government election in Edo State, we will not see party A having 18/18. It's not possible now. Are you not telling me other parties that feature candidate were not liable to win election?
All right, thank you so much. Remember, 2 minutes. Comrade Obaye, you have your 2 minutes right now because of time factor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's simple. The president should be given a round of applause for still standing by it because he's a grassroots person.
Like a stern warning. Yeah, if you don't do it, executive order.
He's a grassroots person. Do you know why? If the grassroots is good, the top will be good. So what the icing on the cake that we expect from the president is not just you've done it well, we are happy with this, bravo, good. The conduct of the local government election. It should be taken away from the state government too, back to the federal government.
But that'd be too cumbersome for them according to reports.
Yeah, it's not, nothing is cumbersome. Are you getting it now? Nothing is cumbersome. It will be better. So that I'm also saying we should have everything going pari passu. We will know that there are some states that has 2 years, some has 3 years, some has 4 years. If the federal government coordinates it, it will be one. Everybody will understand. Argon will now be a known body. Today, Wilson will be a member of Argon. Before you say Jacobison, your friend that was in Anambra, that was Argon, is still there. So it's not well scattered. So it should be rearranged. The president should, on his very best, cement it by taking it back, pass a law to say, okay, all that has passed. From January 31st, we now have what INEC conducting a local government election around the country once and for all. Then we hit yes, because truth be told, is presently our government also, the governors also working towards the direction of the president. Yes, the feelers are there already that things are getting better, but it will be best if the way they came is also monitored by the central government, so that Wilson cannot sit down and just say this person becomes the chairman of social council, this one becomes there, this one becomes there. Let the people decide.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Honorable Yaya, I appreciate the wonderful analysis. Honorable Derek, thank you so much. Comrade Festus, I appreciate you. Comrade Obaye, thank you so much. Governors, you've been warned. All of you, 36, all of you. President said enough is enough. Let the local government breathe. If not, you pay money directly to their account and you have nothing to do about it. Can they do something about it? Can they influence it?
Definitely, yes.
They can influence it. Anyway, this discussion will continue some other time because we're still observing, still watching. At the end of the month, you get to know if these governors are really complying with what Mr. President said. We'll do it again some other time, God willing. Please go to church. Bye for now.
Cannot keep quiet any longer.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Olúwa ọba àtọkùnrin ayé.
The new Edion expressed excitement as they danced and rejoiced before the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawori Benedion, who also joined in the dance. As visiting and paying of homage to various homes of senior elders continued, the initiates spent 7 days performing diverse kinds of rites as required by tradition. They were furnished with rules and regulations regarding their new office as Edion.
That I grew up in this community to the point that they have now also chosen me as an elder in this community. It's a thing of great joy. All thanks to the Esama of Benin, my people, my family, everybody, all Okada community for this great honor. I'm very, very grateful.
Well, this is my brother. I'll call him my uncle because he grew up with my father. I'm so proud of him because we are doing the same rituals as the Edions of the Okada. It is our duty for us to make this place a greater place, for outsiders to come and see the goodness of God in Okada. And I'm proud of every one of us here. So shall it be to each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
Odion ma Okada zima Esama zima Dion Ebuna zima Dion Obana zima Dion Marawe Mari Esama Dion na Nimado Pom Esama Nimado Beken Esama Emana Dio Wena Esama Magbekene Osaba Obuyo Bitone Aba no get Tony Maga no diami Magame Manido Bekene na Ima Yafe Ima Ato Ima Agmo Arokpa Ewudori Ima Adi Awogene all the Tiagbo Yano Emi Magame we need just question on me afa
in Esama in our father's house in respect of our initiation to elders Edion level. As tradition demands, we are here today to come and also pay our homage to him, for him to also pray for long life and prosperity.
The climax after 7 days was paying of homage again to the Edion way, where he gave the initiates the full rights to function and to henceforth participate in meetings with Edion. It will go down in the history and minds of Okada community, Ovia people, Edo State, and Nigeria in general. The ambience, style, and the colorful ceremony associated with the 2025 initiation into the Edion Council of former Governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosagari Benedion, his brothers Bright Ayamekwe Benedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Benedion, Peter Osawori Benedion, Dr. Fred Osawuni Benedion, Barrister Mike Osane Benedion, Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Gwede Onwunse, Honorable Efosa Douglas Benedion, Ukbonwa Benedion, Osawe Benedion, Edosa Benedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Benedion, as well as Agbong Steve Benedion, among other sons of Okada.
It's a pleasure to have you join us today on the program, Woman to Woman.
I'm Adesu Waltawake, and today on Woman to Woman, we're going to continue from where we stopped last week. Last week we talked about domestic violence, mental implication, health-wise, what can happen to the woman. And we had a nurse in the house who told us quite a number of things on how to recognize a woman who is suffering domestic violence. And we also had a lawyer in the house, Barrister Tega, who also intimated us on where to go to, how to recognize it, and where to go and seek help. She also made us understand that no woman should suffer in silence. Marriage is not by force. Marriage is not something you can manage. All right? If you're suffering domestic violence, be bold enough to take a walk. Else, you might just go 6 feet down, or you'll be maimed for life. That is why we advocate for women to do something for themselves, to be financially independent. Even women who are financially independent suffer domestic violence and cannot take a walk for whatever reasons, you know. So all of that we explained last week. So in the course of that, as soon as I stepped out, some men accosted me. How can you? Is it only women that suffer domestic violence? What about the men? You see, the noise was so much that I had a headache. I had to beg them. If you want to talk about this, let's do this today. And only one of them, of all the men that accosted me last week, only one of them is here with us today. And he's going to talk to us about domestic violence. We'll hear his view. Man's understanding, everything that man has to bear, the things that man needs to enjoy in marriage. Of course, he's here to talk to us. So join me as I make welcome the man in our midst this afternoon, blessed amongst two women, Engineer Bright Onochie. It's a pleasure to have you join us today, Engineer Bright.
Thank you very much.
And you're looking very bright.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're living your name. That's cool. Yes, all right, long time no see. My friend who ran away and abandoned me on this Woman to Woman. Honestly, we started Woman to Woman together, but halfway she appeared and left me home alone and dry. Please join me to make welcome Didi Ekpeyong. Didi, it's so nice to have you join us. She's an interpreter, in case you're looking for a French interpreter, and she's also an analyst. She does quite a lot for young girls to make sure they are well placed in society. Didi, thank you for all you do. But no thanks for abandoning me, though. All right, so let me start with Didi. Didi, tell us your understanding of domestic violence, and if a woman should stay in abusive marriage or not.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Domestic violence, it's being showing aggressive behavior, being aggressive, being unkind, torturing someone that's supposed to be close to you, like a family member, maybe an intimate partner, someone that you're supposed to be nice to, someone that you're supposed to be good to, but you just torture the person, maybe emotionally, maybe psychologically, you know, even economically. You know, you just torture the person, or maybe you derive pleasure in seeing them hurt.
That's what one of the traits of a narcissist.
Yes, so that's putting it mildly.
So in an abusive marriage, should a woman stay? Because of the children, no. Because of what society will say, because of my pastor, my church, should a woman stay?
Well, I wouldn't advise any woman or a man, let's not be biased, a woman or a man to stay in an abusive relationship. You have to seek help. You can't keep staying and suffering in silence. You have to speak out. You have to look for help. If you love the person abusing you, you have to look for help for the person too. Not yourself first, you know. The first step of action is always to remove yourself from the environment where the abuse is going on, because gradually there's a form of damage going on. It's damaging you gradually, and you wouldn't know how you will react. One day you just react and do something. We are women. You say this woman got up and stabbed the husband, or the husband got up, beat up the wife. It's a series of abuse that led to their elasticity limit
So
just going off.
elasticity
It
just
snapped.
snapped.
So and the action they took, you know, if when they become calm and they look back, they won't even believe that they reacted that way. So the first step is to remove yourself from the environment where the abuse is happening. Look for help. There's help out there. Talk to someone. Don't keep it to yourself.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, Engineer Onyeoche, welcome again to Woman to Woman, where women rule. This is our world, so we rule here. Yes. Okay, you were one of those who were like very bitter. Yes. That why did I not talk about men? Men suffer domestic violence too, and all of that and all of that. What kind of domestic violence do men suffer?
Thank you very much, ma. I would like to say this. Men, if 100% of men out there could come out and speak out what they are going through in their homes, you will find out that men are going domestic violence more than women.
Really?
Yes.
How so? Make a balance well, make I hear you.
Now they are
just my agbada. It was because of you I want agbada to do. Oh yeah, let's go.
Now when you get to find out that in some homes, when they have any little issue, the lady will be calling the man by his name.
Not by name before.
It's domestic violence.
By calling my husband by name is domestic violence?
When you are calling his name, you're not calling him by pet name, no respect, you're calling him by that name. That's domestic violence. Yes.
This is new. I'm just hearing this one.
Then when you are trying to control his wealth, his money, you don't want, he wants to do something like this, he wants to do the other thing, and you're saying, no, don't do it. Do it my way. It's also a domestic violence.
Okay.
Now, there are verbal
if I'm helping my husband to control our money, you know, it's domestic violence?
Yes, it's domestic violence. You should allow him to do it. Your own is to advise, not to control him. Tell him this is what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Now, if you check 100% of the home men outside there, they are afraid of saying, I'm going through domestic violence because what the society will say.
Okay.
That's why you see some men, when they are going on the road, you just find out that the person wants to open his car, he just number die. That's all. Because they are going through domestic violence emotionally, which is really hitting them up. Okay. They don't have who to speak out to. So when you're always saying women are going to, women are passing through domestic violence, they are into domestic violence, blah, blah, no. The men are the ones suffering it the most. If a woman wants to nag today, the man will just like, for the next 5 minutes, he will just be mute. He don't know what to say. It's domestic violence. The woman, the way the woman reacts to the man now determines the way the man reacts back.
Okay.
And when you look at it, the man reaction now becomes the topic of the day.
Okay.
But when a woman was giving the man verbally domestic violence, verbally abuse, nobody sees it. Now the man could not control it. And something happened along the line. They say the woman is facing domestic violence. No.
Why couldn't the man talk softly to the woman instead of hitting or beating or flaunt? Don't you know that cheating is also domestic violence on the woman?
It's not even true that men can speak out.
Okay.
Because we have counselors. You don't have to go to where you are known. There are counselors everywhere. We have NGOs that offer free counseling.
To men?
To men and women. They don't say counseling is restricted to just women. You are free to speak to someone. You should have a colleague you are close to, someone at least. One, a boss that you can respect or you feel you can open up to. There must be one person. You can't be an island.
Okay.
So you can't say men are embarrassed to speak out. It's about life. A man's life is equally important, just as a woman's life is important. So you can't say, oh, it's women that will listen to. The world has changed. People are not reasoning that way again. The male child is important, the female child is important. So if you're saying a man can't speak out, that's not true. I'm such a counselor. This is what I'm going through. What do I do?
Okay, let me ask you, Onyeoche, Bright Onyeoche, why did you say that men can't speak out? Perhaps they are, I don't know why. Why is it that they cannot speak out? They have friends, they hang around like Didi said.
Because
they mix up with people.
Men can't speak out because they are afraid of what the next person will say. They don't want this person to mock them. That they are going to.
Okay.
Yes.
So they are afraid of being stigmatized.
Yes, to be stigmatized. That's why they can't say it out.
So why do they now hit? Why do they react? A woman nags a man, not be mouth she talk.
Yes.
A woman tries to control a man, not be mouth she talk. Why can't the man use the same mouth to talk and rest instead of being physical with the woman, turning her into a punching bag?
When a woman is nagging, when it's like having issue with her husband, that's verbal abuse.
I know, you said that. So why can't the man also talk to the woman? Let it to be verbal abuse instead of physical.
When the man, no, not all domestic violence are physical. Like hitting the woman. No. There are so many ways. There are some men who does not talk.
But 90%, the records have shown that 90% of domestic violence recorded, men are the perpetrators in capital letters.
That's why I said 100% of men out there can speak out. If they speak out the same way women are going out, saying it, coming on social media, telling people, this is what I'm going through. I'm telling you the truth.
Men speak out. I actually saw one on social media where the woman was hitting the man. She went to the point of bringing out a knife to, I don't know what they were arguing about, but this didn't happen in Nigeria, I think, but African people, Nigerian people. And the guy was shouting, "No choke me, oh, no choke me, oh, no choke me, oh." And he kept some distance, yeah.
If it's Nigeria, yeah, do you think that man will cry out?
The man will not cry out, he will beat her instead. He will punch her, he will mama her, he will panabit her.
So careful not to touch her.
He will panabit her.
Now, in some cases, when, like let's say for example now, you're going to Ring Road, and when you get to Ring Road there, you just see a guy and a girl, maybe they are discussing. The next thing, the girl will just grip the guy on his shirt. Nobody knows what happened. Because the lady has gripped that guy, everybody will come and be hitting the guy.
Really? You
Yes.
just hit somebody you don't know because
You don't know what happened. Once a lady holds a man down and started shouting, other people will come and join that woman to fight that man. That's domestic violence.
No, we are just being women. We are protecting ourselves.
No. The man did not raise his hand on her.
Okay, let me ask you this question now. Why is it quick for men to hit their women? And there are some who will hit their women where people will not see. They will not hit on the face, but they will beat them on their back, beat them so hard so that people will not know. Then they come outside and pretend like they love the woman. Inside, the woman is going through hell. They control the woman's money, control her life, control everything that's got to do with that woman, and will never ever allow that woman to grow. Why do men do that?
Okay. Now, if you look at that aspect, what you just said now, the only word I can use there is just lack of self-control.
On the part of the man or the woman? Yes,
on the part of the man.
Okay.
Now, if there is self-control, immediately that woman is reacting that way. You just give her some space. Now, giving her that space doesn't mean you are a weak man. But telling you the truth, once the man leaves that place, emotionally, he's thinking, how long will I continue with this? How long is this going to be?
Have you suffered domestic violence before?
Domestic violence? I have before.
How?
Yes, I was dating a girl that was years back.
Okay.
And we had an issue. She was about going out to see another man.
How did you know? Because the girl just managed, dressed fine, looks sweet, looks hot. The next thing she's going to see another man.
I have ears and I have eyes all over the place.
Okay, you have been monitoring her.
Yes.
That means you didn't trust her.
I know at that particular point in time what was going on.
Okay.
So I told her, you're not going. Nobody is going. Since you say you want to go to church somewhere else, and we have program in our own church, let's go to our own church.
Okay.
I'm a charismatic member, which she is. So now let's go to our own church, which we have a program. She said no, she must go to that other one.
Okay.
Not knowing that I already know the place she's going, everything. So I just have to stop her. Let's go. She said she's not going. Okay, so at the time I pick up my clothes to wear, I want to go out, she gripped me.
One. You do better, you.
You are not, you go nowhere. Nobody is going out of this house.
Okay. What did you do?
You said you're a man. I was just laughing.
You didn't hit her?
No. I didn't hit her at first. Let me tell you. Yes. Let me tell you. It was when she now grabbed my engine room. She hold me there and said, "She, you say you're a man. Move, let me see." I was still begging, "Please leave me. Please leave me." She refused. I don't have any option
than to hit her.
I just have to hit her for her to just leave me.
Because she was about to destroy your family.
Not just my family, my life was at stake.
Of course, your lineage was at stake.
So that was what happened. So when you say...
how many times did you hit her? Just confession.
No. If I hit you once, you know someone hit you.
No, you cannot even hit me. I cannot put myself in a place where you can hit me.
So immediately I hit her, she just stopped.
Okay. After
the whole drama, I regret hitting her. But that was the only thing that came to my mind.
That was the only you could save yourself?
Yes, to save myself.
That can be attributed to self-defense. She was going to harm you.
Yes.
She was holding a very delicate part of your body. And I know that no man will tolerate that. And let me excuse you. I don't know if Didi will excuse you. Let me excuse you for that. Say, okay, this is self-defense. All right. So, Didi, why are we quick to running our mouth? Anyway, before you answer, let's quickly take one short break. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, Didi is going to be answering this question. Why are women, my gender, so sharp-mouthed to the point of provoking a man to that extent where the man will hit? Because Onoche said something. He said it is the behavior of a woman that attracts such a reaction from the man. So Didi, you get it where we're going to pick it from. So we'll take a short break. I'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Woman on Independent Television with yours truly and my beautiful panelists. Okay, Didi, a while ago, Engineer Bright said that it is the behavior or the reaction of the woman that warrants a tougher reaction from the man, up to the point of, you know, buzz and all of that. Now the question is, why are women so quick to judging a man? Why is our tongue so sharp to the point that when some women will start, they go, curse your papa, curse your mama, curse your generation. Yeah, now women be that. You know, why are women like that?
I think it starts from when they met, the reason why the woman married the man. Maybe some women have these expectations from their men, and by the time they finally get into that marriage, what they were expecting, they are not seeing it. And it becomes frustrating to them, and they start losing respect for the man. Maybe they felt the man is so buoyant financially, or the man is, you know, socially out there. And, you know, that's why they say when you're courting, be your real self. Let the person know who you are. Now, while you are courting, today is the cinema, tomorrow it's the beach, next tomorrow you're going to the moon, you know, you're doing so many things. Then before you know it, you're now married, weekends will come, you're inside the house, you the man, you wear your clothes, you go out, the woman is at home, all the fun is gone. So she's waking up, going to work, coming back, weekend she's at home, and you are out there. Her mind will start telling her, this man is taking some, because what made her to like you was the things you were doing when you guys met. All of a sudden, it's another drum beat. You're not yourself again. You're not doing those fun things. Look, it can be frustrating, because some people will go like, oh, this man is fun. I want to live my life with someone that will make me laugh every time. And you come in, you're so moody. The woman starts suspecting you, starts disliking you. There's no attraction anymore. Before you know it, she'll start losing respect for you, and then she starts beating you or harming you verbally, and it's expectations. So if you are dating or courting, stay true. What you cannot do in a long time, so don't try to be who you are not. Be yourself. You're not the type that does movies, and because you met a woman, all of a sudden you want to be doing movies. Then you now succeed to bring the woman in, and you stop doing the movies. You are looking for trouble. So let's stay true. Let's stay real. Let's deliberately go out to maintain that fun. Maintain that. See, it might not be easy, but you have to be intentional about it. Okay. Keeping a lifelong relationship involves a lot of work, a lot of commitment. That's why they say if you're not ready, don't go. You can't say there's no fun, there's no vibes, there's nothing, and the home will be interesting. You should look for things that, you said something, you said your husband went and hid something, say go and look for it. He's trying to bring fun, he's trying to make the house lively, he's trying to, you guys were doing it when you were dating. That you are married, that you have children, doesn't mean that you are too old to go and watch a movie. Instead, they will look for side chick. It doesn't mean you're so so by the time the woman starts suspecting that you're doing these things with a side chick, you come into the home, she's not respecting you. Your meal is not ready. What are you good for? There's no respect anymore. So she can as well start vomiting those words. Well, but another thing is, in bringing up our children too, we have to be conscious of the fact that life can go either ways. Yeah. It's not always rosy. A man could be so buoyant when you meet him, and maybe later things change. You have to teach your child how to cope at different times. I have an uncle that is very wealthy. He's very wealthy, but at times he'll take the kids out. He'll tell them, what do you want me to buy in this mall for you? And they'll say, Daddy, we love this shirt, we love these trainers. He'll say, well, I can afford them, but I won't give them to you, so that you will not feel that you can always have whatever you want at any time. Teach your children as they are growing up. Life is full of ups and downs. Be patient when it's not moving as fast as you would love to. Work towards improving it. Put in your best. Trust and believe God, or believe in something. So it's not about abusing your partner. It's not about fighting your partner. It's not about becoming violent. It's not about aggression. Seek help. If you cannot tolerate the man anymore, if he's irritating you, if you have a pastor or a female pastor, go and talk to he or she. The one that will not add fuel. The one that will not add fuel. Yes. If you have a counselor, if you have a boss, see, I don't like. There was a time I was feeling irritable towards a colleague. I met another colleague. I said, I don't know. Everything about this person just irritates me. And I was counseled, I was spoken to, and I took the counseling, and it helped me. Fantastic. So, Onoche, in just a minute, please tell us, how can men in domestic violence survive?
Well, to me, what I'm going to tell the men out there.
Just tell them in a minute, because time is not our friend.
To the men out there, if you are going through domestic violence, speak out. If you can't take it, walk out of it. Wear your shirt and walk out. Okay. Instead of hitting. All right, Didier Ekpeyon, thank you so much. Engineer Onoche, thank you so much. Thank you. The bottom line of today's discussion is this. If you cannot take the hit, please leave the kitchen. Leave the kitchen as fast as you can before you pick up a knife to stab
maybe your pot or your kettle or your cat or your rat or anybody around you. If you know that the marriage is too hot for you, instead of it to hit to the point that the person may die or sustain lifelong injury, just take a walk. And when you're doing all of this, don't forget that your children are watching. Yeah. Be careful so that you don't raise a wife beater and a man eater. We'll see you again some other time. Bye-bye.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Tech Today on Independent Television, your #1 stop for everything innovation, gadgets, and technology shaping the way we live and work. I am Momo Lawal, or you can call me Mr. Kankan, and you'll be right. And today, we are beaming our focus on the power of the sun, literally. Yes, the topic is the power of solar innovation in Nigeria. Across the country, more Nigerians are turning to solar energy for light, for comfort, and business continuity. But how much do we really know about this solar technology that is changing the way we power our world? To help us understand this, I have with me an electrical engineer and a solar engineer specialist, Engineer Elisha Leo Asikidi. He has worked on several solar installation and energy projects, and he will be helping us unpack how solar energy works, what innovations are happening right now, and of course, what the future looks like for Nigeria. But before we dive into all of that, Engineer Elisha, how are you doing? Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, guys.
All right, thank you very much for coming. All right, and as usual, before we go into all of this, we'll give you the biggest tech headlines that is making waves both globally and locally. We call it the Tech Update segment. Stay tuned, don't go nowhere. Welcome back, guys. It's still Tech Today, and we are diving into the Tech Update segment. Yes, number one on the Tech Update, we have that Apple has rolled out a groundbreaking eye tracking feature on the iPhone 16. This allows users to control the phone using only their eyes. No touch, no voice, just gaze. Okay, it uses an advanced AI to interpret where you're looking and respond accordingly. This means you can just scroll through apps, reply to messages, or even open your photo just by looking at your phone. You know, it's a game changer for people with mobility or physical challenges. This is a feature that just shows you that technology is not only about convenience, but it's about inclusion. Elisha, what do you think about that innovation by Apple?
Well, this innovation by Apple is actually for those who are physically.
Well, I think it's something that I want to use, to just use my eyes to be controlling my device.
Well, you already have your hands.
But for convenience, I'm just saying.
It's just for the convenience of
yeah.
Who do not have the ability to. So you use your eyes to do the...
To your phone. But I'm just imagining how it would be. We're waiting for it. We'll bring you guys more updates on that on the show, of course, as it unfolds. Next on the tech updates, we have that Starlink has introduced what we call community Wi-Fi in parts of Africa and Asia. So instead of every home buying an expensive dish, a single Starlink hotspot can now serve an entire community at a much cheaper rate. It's like having one Wi-Fi dish in a village and everybody connects to it just like a cafe hotspot. This could close the internet gap in remote areas and give schools and small businesses reliable access. Imagine a rural area in Edo State or Taraba streaming online classes through Starlink's shared Wi-Fi. Elisha, what is not fascinating?
It is fascinating, and if you look, technology is actually evolving every day.
Yes.
And so those who were in the market before, we leave the market for the new ones.
So take over. I really like this tech update because, as a matter of fact, it shows you that we don't even know what we're going to expect in the next 5 years in terms of technology.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good one. Big ups to Elon Musk's team. Next on the tech update, still globally, we have that Apple and Google are collaborating to establish a global safety standards for artificial intelligence. They want to make sure that AI behaves responsibly and protects user data. It's like both companies, Apple and Google is big companies, they're big companies. They are agreeing on traffic rules so that your phone's artificial intelligence doesn't go around, you know, misusing your information or doesn't even go rogue on you. So, you know, this partnership will can make about this tech update because it actually addresses privacy concern. What do you like about this?
Only thing I can say that I like about this collaboration is the fact that I can now back up my Apple memories on the Google Drive, instead of the iCloud.
And also, they are not trying to ensure that you don't. There are certain things that the cloud would know. They don't want the cloud to know everything about you. If you don't want them to know certain things about you, it will not upload such information to the cloud anymore. It will just stay locally on your phone.
Yeah,
it's a good
innovation.
Now, coming here home in Nigeria, we have that our Nigerian government has signed an agreement with a Chinese solar giant, LONGi, to build 1 gigawatt solar panel factory. The goal is to produce panels locally and reduce the high cost of importing them. So this means very soon we could start buying made in Nigeria solar panels that are going to be cheaper and easy to access. This could actually transform Nigeria's renewable energy sector and create thousands of jobs. You know, imagine a tech hub in Benin City that could, you know, install affordable local panels made here in Nigeria. I know this is something relating to what we're discussing today, Elisha.
Well, it's a good initiative by the government to come into this collaboration with LONGi. Well, it has been well overdue. Because at least for it to reduce the cost of the way we buy our panels at home. So it's a good one.
Oh, man, I'm liking the tech updates as we go. And also in tech update locally, we have the Lagos State. We shared this with you a few weeks ago. That Lagos State, they are going into what we call smart traffic lights. Now, Lagos State, they are currently testing smart traffic lights that uses sensor and artificial intelligence to control timing based on real-time traffic flow. So it's like traffic lights that have brains. When one lane is very full, it gives that lane more time to move. You know, this smart traffic system can reduce congestion and, you know, fuel wastage in busy cities. You know, I particularly like this one that traffic lights, smart traffic lights. It just makes me understand that maybe, you know, normally we have our traffic light that normally move for maybe 90 seconds or 60 seconds. Now, it doesn't have to wait the whole 90 seconds if it sees that the place is now being congested. It just automatically just turns green and it allows people to move freely. It's not a good one.
It's a good one and it's actually powered by solar anyway.
Oh, it is powered by solar?
Yeah, because you can't use that when we have poor power supply.
I don't know about that power supply, but I know it's not exactly poor. It has improved.
Yeah.
So it's a good one, and you know, but I'm scared. Will people actually obey those traffic lights?
Why not? Lagos is a place where they've advanced even more than many states in the country. So you don't just be the light there anyhow.
Okay.
You have to take.
There's a fine for that.
Yeah.
And lastly, in the tech updates, we have Inoso Motors have launched what we call an electric delivery van. So Inoso Motors have announced plans actually to release electric delivery van next year. These vehicles will run on batteries instead of fuel and making them cleaner and cheaper to maintain. So think of this as a delivery vans that you can charge with like your phone, the way you charge your phone. There is no petrol, no noise, no pollution. This move marks Nigeria's entry into a fast-growing electric mobility industry. Elisha, imagine delivery companies now using this, you know, you are driving your vehicles. We know we graduated from using petrol to now using CNG, and now we're now having electric vehicles, and it's now even going into the logistics area. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a perfect one for us because it's high time we start trusting our brands. And, you know, bringing out this kind of brand electric vehicle, well, it's a 100% plus for us.
It's a 100% plus. I am sure that we can charge them regularly because I like this, you know, becoming fair and all of that. Now, these are the top stories that's happening right now in tech, and let us dive right now into our topic for today, which is the power of solar innovation in Nigeria. You know, Elisha, thank you very much again for joining us on the program. So let's just begin with this basic. What exactly is solar energy, and how does this solar power technology, how does it work?
Okay, solar energy is the conversion of sunlight to electricity. It's as simple as that. Where you use, where the photovoltaic cells are being charged up through the sunlight and sent to the house. So basically, the things that you use to, store these things are batteries.
Yeah.
Then from the batteries, you get to use your inverters to invert the charges that are installed in the batteries to your house, to your homes.
Because the energy that comes there is in the DC.
In the DC, yes, okay. And which the inverter changes.
DC means direct current.
Direct current,
okay.
Which the inverter changes to alternating current.
AC.
To AC.
Okay.
So, well, the process it takes is when there's sunlight, the cells take charges from the sun.
Okay.
Then, you have your positive and negative cables, okay. Which are from the panels to your charge controller. And these charge controllers, you use them according to the numbers of panels that you want to use for your home or businesses.
Oh.
So with that charge controller, your panels are being connected to it. Then from there to your inverter, from your battery, or your inverter to your battery, at least the battery has to power the inverter. So when all this happens, it's just like a circle. The sunlight goes to the charge controller goes to the battery, the inverter goes to the battery. Whatever is stored in the battery, there will not be sunlight for the whole day.
Yes.
So at night, the inverter inverts whatever it is that's left of the battery to give you at least power supply for the remaining of the hour or the night.
Wow, this is very, very good to take in. I really like how you explain it to us. That's why you're the solar energy expert. Now, I understand that solar energy has become very popular, and I don't know how affordable it is. Maybe you can share light on that, and also describe how we Nigerians are the progress in adopting this solar energy so far.
Well, with the high level of marketing that we engineers are already trying to enlighten people about using solar and letting them know that solar is way cheaper than you running on gen, with the high cost of fuel, you running electricity or BEDC, because many people run their homes with what they call it, high bills.
Yes.
So
most of the bills, sometimes they are even
estimated bills. So the thing is, there are initiatives that have been put down for you to be able to afford this solar. Firstly, you can go with paying small. There are companies who agree for you to pay small. You come, you give them the plans, or they give you the plans which you can get to whatever it is that you want. If it's the 1 kVA, 2 kVA, 3 kVA, 5 kVA.
So you pay by installments?
Yes, you pay installments. So with those kind of initiatives, it has become easier and affordable for people to use.
So it's not exactly expensive
No,
now.
It's not. Except you have the money, you just go for it at once.
Okay, now we've been discussing solar, and a lot of people are already using this solar energy. So now I want to understand, what are the most common misconceptions that Nigerians have about solar energy? What are the things that we're not getting properly? You can maybe share with us.
Okay, firstly, I would like to talk on my own personal experience.
Okay.
So I met a client which I told her about going solar, because she was always complaining that their transformer gets bad more often.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't you just go solar to save you the stress, all these many talks and all. So she was like, solar that my sister's house caught fire. And I said, how are you sure that it's the solar that made your sister's house to get that fire? Why are you not saying, okay, whether it's from maybe the normal light she decides or from her hair? Why are you sure it's solar? And that aside, is because your sister used a low-level engineer, someone with much experience, and the quality that the person used. So those things are one of the things we face. And some people will say it's expensive, so we'll try to let them know that you can pay small for these products, and they are good to go.
So the misconception most people think that solar can make their house go on fire and all of that. Some persons think that solar is only for the rich. That's also a misconception.
No, not really. Anyway,
they always feel that buying any equipment of that will maybe incur more cost to you. And now they are making us understand that they can pay installments.
Yes, to get whatever it is.
So talking about solar, we know that technology is evolving every day, Elisha. So what are some of the new solar technology that Nigerians should be excited about? What are the things that are coming into solar that we can be excited about in the near future?
Okay, yeah, there are several things that are being produced right now in the market. There's the bifacial solar panels. Those ones attract charges from both the face and that's the top and the back.
Oh,
like from Honda
from the panel.
Yes.
Oh, it's actually from top
and it gives more efficiency.
Wow, but doesn't now get charges from bottom when the sun is not hitting there? Oh, through the heat from the aluminum or your roof.
Yes, from the roof.
Okay.
So that's another kind of innovation, and there are also other things that even the Longa is also trying to do. You know, to get a kind of charge that everything that's both the monocrystalline, the polycrystalline, whatever it is, the silicon, everything put together with whatever they're producing, now charges it more than 50% of what monocrystalline would produce. Yes,
but it will not affect the battery. It will not be overcharging or too much.
No, you know, when you are getting that, it means you are getting more batteries or a higher battery watts.
Okay.
So in getting those kind of things, you have to go for maybe lithium batteries, 15 kilowatts, 20 kilowatts. At least it will charge faster, even while it's cloudy, no sun.
Oh, because that's another thing that will not restrain from solar. They say when it's cloudy or it doesn't really charge more.
That's why we advise people to go for more panels. You know, when you have more panels put together.
But more panels, I've seen this more panels as if it's cheap. It's quite expensive.
You are paying
to get
small anyway.
Okay. It's still Tech Today on Independent Television, and Elisha and I were discussing the power of solar innovation in Nigeria, and it's just sharing what is solar and what we can learn about solar. And moving forward, we're going to ask him more questions just after the break. Don't go nowhere. When we come back, we'll throw more questions on Elisha. Welcome back to the program. It's still Tech Today on Independent Television, and we're discussing the power of solar energy, the innovation of solar energy in Nigeria, how solar has really helped us in Nigeria, and what is solar energy in general. So we have Engineer Elisha, who is a solar energy expert and also an electrical engineer with us in the studio, and has been answering lots of questions for us. So Engineer Elisha, you know, I know that in one way or the other, we need government's involvement in solar. So what way do you think that our Nigerian government can help us, you know, make this affordable, this solar energy affordable, or make it easy for us so that everybody, and most people in Nigeria, not everybody can actually have access to this innovation, this technology?
Well, one of the things we actually face about the solar product is importation. The tax which has been placed on importing those solar products down to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well, if the governments can be so kind to, you know, reduce the taxes for those products.
When you say taxes, remember our government is big on tax. Okay.
Then also, the government can also do the subsidize some of the products. At least, I know they are trying to do a factory here that can now produce panels, which is also a good thing ahead. So it will reduce the costs actually for us. Then also, private companies are going to play a role based on paying small, the installment payments.
Okay,
so that role, again, would help people who really do not have much, but can pay that, you know, small.
Governments can also assist people to pay.
Yes, to at least. So that's part of also the subsidy that they can do for people to be able to get these products.
Okay, now, thank you very much. I have this question. It has been on my mind. Somebody has asked me before in the past, and I want to bring it to you now. We know solar energy really helps us nowadays in our country, but do you think solar can replace the national grid, say in 10 or 20 years from now?
Well, truthfully, it might not, or it cannot, but it will reduce.
Why?
Because, you know, you have to produce a lot of watts for people to use.
But imagine we are in a community that has, you know, many amounts of solar panels are you know, mounted there, and they say for that community, let's assume they want to go solar, total solar, and they want to cut out of the national grid.
Except that community has not had anything about national grid, light or whatever.
Okay.
If it's maybe an opening, a new community, and they can say, okay, instead of relying on the national grid, let's just go solar. And it's going to cost a lot also, based on, because these are new people already there. It's not as if they already had units there beforehand.
So,
So
infrastructure,
where you already have the national grid, so it's going to be very hard to now say you want to switch from the national grid. Totally, yes. So it will only reduce the usage of the national grid.
Now let's talk about batteries. You know, we know that batteries is like the powerhouse of solar. Now, I know, does this battery does it affect the cost? Is it what makes solar more expensive, or does it also affect the lifespan of solar systems?
Well, it affects the lifespan of solar system positively.
Okay.
Because with the batteries, you cannot just be running on solar only at noon. You also have the night and maybe early morning. And these batteries are what you use to run throughout those periods.
So a good battery, how long can it last you? A good battery?
8 hours.
No, I mean, eventually, long-term wise, can it last you for 5 years before you
Yes, for the tubular batteries, it can last you from 2 to 3 years or more.
Before you replace them?
Depending on the maintenance culture. But for the lithium, 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
Yes, because the maintenance is done internally. You don't need to do much. As long as it's been connected well, the materials used are of good quality. Then it can last you for 10 to 15 years.
Beautiful. Speaking of good quality, and also you mentioned earlier, I want to know, what are the biggest mistakes engineers make when they are installing solar? You know, share with us. You know, I believe you must have installed several panels and all of that to different clients. What are the mistakes that you think people make when installing this solar system?
Well, one of the mistakes people make or engineers make is not having a good solar installation system. How? Like, when you want to install solar, you have cases that you can build for your batteries. You don't just bring batteries and put them on the floor where anybody can reach it. A person who you are installing solar for has children, and the children can come there and, you know, just by touching the battery valves and all, you don't just leave it there like that. We have cases which we can build, and you put those batteries there. They are locked but exposed at some sites where the emission can just easily go out from. So those things are one of the mistakes they make. Another mistake is the low quality material. You're fixing a solar of 10 kVA, 20 kVA, then you are using a low quality wire of 1 mm or 1.5 mm. Now, when you are fixing those kind of things, you use materials that can hold the strength of energy which passes through, so that you don't have the scenario of this wire got burnt there, from there entered, so my house now got burnt. No, you use good quality materials. You are being paid for this, so why not just buy this thing instead of you trying to be greedy to minimize costs for it.
All right, thank you so much. I've really learned a lot today. We've had a truly enlightening conversation today with Engineer Elisha Leo Asikidi. He's an expert in solar technology. You know, he has explained to us from how solar works to how Nigerians growing investment in renewable energy. It's clear that solar power is not just the future, okay? It is the present solution to our electricity challenges, okay? As we move towards a cleaner and smarter Nigeria, I want you all to remember that the sun does not charge anyone, okay? What we need are smart minds, of course, and the right innovation to harness it. And like Elisha said, we need to also get good materials also, so we don't go and start getting inferior materials that will not, cause us harm later in the future. All right, that is all we can take on today's edition of Tech Today. Don't forget that we do this on radio every Monday by 8:30 p.m. We call it Tech Info. Okay, join me again next week for another deep dive into the world of technology and innovation that is transforming our everyday life. My name is Momo Lawal. You can call me Mr. Kankan. Till then, stay bright, stay innovative, and keep shining with solar power. Bye for now.
is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Hello there, it's always my delight to have you join us every Sunday like this on a program News Review. I am Deborah Iviugbe from Thanking you so much for joining us on the program. Our first report for review is on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who during the week on Diary Review presented the 2026 budget of 58.47 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly with capital recurrent non-debt expenditure standing at 15.25 trillion naira. He presented the budget on Friday, pegging the capital expenditure at 26.08 trillion naira and putting the crude oil benchmark at $64.58 per barrel. In the same vein, we reported during the week on Diary Review that the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, presented the 2026 appropriation bill and budget estimates of 939 billion 850 million naira to the Edo State House of Assembly for consideration and approval. The budget tagged Hope and Growth is aimed at consolidating the gains recorded over the past 1 year and expanding developmental projects across the states.
While presenting the proposed 2026 budget of Hope and Growth, Governor Okpebholo said the appropriation bill seeks to expand the reach of his administration and restore the hope of Edo people in governance. Governor Okpebholo further stated that the 2026 budget will be funded through an internally generated revenue of 460 billion naira, FAC allocation of 480 billion naira, capital receipts and grants of 153 billion naira, public-private partnerships amounting to 146 billion naira, and other available revenue sources.
For 2026 fiscal year, the budget of Hope and Growth proposed a total expenditure of 939 billion 850 million naira only. Capital expenditure with the 637 billion, that's representing 68%. Recurrent expenditure 302 billion, representing 32%. Edo State will continue to prioritize capital projects such as roads, schools, hospitals, water, housing, and economic projects.
Earlier, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Abobaku, assured that the 8th Assembly would continue to partner with the Executive to ensure the successful implementation of the administration's SHINE agenda.
I know there will be hope for Edo people with this budget.
Some residents of the state also shared their views on the 2026 budget estimates.
With this budget of consolidation of Hope and Growth, we are expecting a lot of dividend of democracy.
I see prosperity. This is also in line with the SHINE agenda.
The governor had met well, and that all the capital project and his vision of SHINE will take us there.
The 2026 budget of Hope and Growth, anchored on the administration's SHINE agenda, represents a 17.5% increase, amounting to 140 billion 30 million naira over the 2025 budget estimate of 799.8 billion naira. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, during week on Diary Review, says it is set to establish a joint counter-terrorism force as part of renewed efforts to confront the growing threats of violent extremism across the sub-region. The chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments and President of Sierra Leone disclosed this while addressing the 68th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authorities of Heads of State and Government held at the Banquet Hall of the State House, Abuja.
The 68th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government was presided over by the President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio. Nigeria, as host nation, was represented at the summit by Vice President Kashim Shettima, who stood in for President Bola Tinubu. Speaking, President Bio expressed deep concern over the activities of multiple terror groups operating across West Africa, warning that they continue to exploit the fragility of the region's border to carry out cross-border attacks and destabilize member states. According to him, the proposed joint security force is aimed at strengthening collective defense mechanisms and enhancing coordinated responses among ECOWAS countries in the fight against terrorism.
On behalf of this authority, I strongly condemn the unconstitutional change of government in Guinea-Bissau and the attempt to subvert the constitutional order in Benin. I commend the rapid mobilization of ECOWAS troops and air assets, with Nigeria taking the lead to safeguard constitutional order in Benin.
Speaking earlier, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Umar Aliu Toure, condemned coup in the sub-region while commending the effort of Nigeria in crushing the Benin Republic coup d'etat.
The regional response has been measured but firm, and the swift action of our heads of state shows their commitment to democratic values and stability in the region. Then came the unfortunate attempted coup in the Republic of Benin, which met with a swift and resolute action of ECOWAS led by the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nigeria has remained at the forefront of regional diplomatic and stabilization efforts, playing a key role in ECOWAS' collective response to political crisis through dialogue, security cooperation, and respect for the rule of law. From the Old Banquet Hall, Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu John Wikondari said he inherited a badly managed economy but has through several reforms turned things around for good. He was speaking while hosting leaders of the Obia Kingdom in Bayelsa State at the State House, Abuja.
Receiving the Ogbia delegation from Bayelsa State, President Bola Tinubu assured citizens that his administration is committed to delivering lasting progress across all regions and defeating terrorism and other security threats across Nigeria. He also assured the delegation that his administration remains resolute in confronting terrorism, banditry, and other forms of insecurity threatening parts of the country. He said security forces are making steady progress despite the challenges. Further speaking on the national economy, the president noted that the nation's economy, which according to him was in dire state when his administration took office, has now turned the corner for good. He emphasized that the priority is to translate macroeconomic improvement into real gains for the people at the grassroots.
It's a joy to listen to go down the history of our discovery. But fortunately, recently, God has given us the opportunity. Commitment to duty, the love of the nation is noticed by all, including myself. You mentioned Jonathan. Jonathan is a very, very good leader. He's a good citizen. He's a good son of Nigeria and leader.
While acknowledging the historical marginalization of the oil-producing area, the president stressed that dwelling on past grievances would do little to alter its future prospect. President Tinubu called for a reshifted focus of the Niger Delta region to collaboration, determination, and measurable progress, urging the leaders of the Niger Delta region to look beyond years of neglect and work constructively with his administration to fast-track development in the region. He promised the delegation that his administration will work closely with Niger Delta indigene serving in government, particularly the managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Mr. Samuel Ogboku, to deepen developmental efforts in the region. From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Gwaripa John Wikondari granted bail to the former Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Igige, who is standing trial on an 8-count corruption charges. Justice Maria Hassan adopted the terms of administrative bail earlier granted to him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The choir of St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church, Benin City, led by the parish priest, Reverend Father Jerome Idebe, joined the growing list of choristers who held this year's Christmas carol service at the House of Igbenedion in honor of the Esama of Benin, His Excellency, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion.
Melodious tunes from the St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church choir thrilled guests as they delivered powerful Christmas messages through songs. The first Bible reading was taken by the choir chairman, Mrs. Vera Okoli. The Executive Director, Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ubede Wonse, took the second Bible reading, while the choir master, Mr. Paul Odigie, delivered a third reading taken from the book of Micah, chapter 1, verses 2 to 5.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, says the Lord."
The people who walk in darkness have seen a great light. Those who live in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined.
After the fourth Bible reading by the immediate past chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Dr. Osaritin Nadege, the parish priest, Reverend Father Jerome Idebe, took the fifth reading and delivered a homily. Reverend Father Idebe explained that Christmas symbolizes the demonstration of God's love to mankind, noting that the Esama's love for humanity aligns perfectly with the true message of the season.
We are told in John 3:16, "And for God so loved the world, and He gave His only begotten Son, and all who believe in Him will not perish but have everlasting life."
Angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David.
The event later featured native songs as the choristers proudly showcased the rich cultural heritage of the Benin people. In his remarks, the host and Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion, reminisced on fond memories and requested old Christmas songs, which were uniquely and beautifully rendered by the choir.
All these characteristics new way of making Christmas, we are not used to it. We are used to say nowhere. But I used to sing the old Christmas song.
Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Now moving on, the bond of friendship between the families of Pastor Saige Izeyamu, former secretary to Edo State Government, and Honorable Matthew Udoekime, was further strengthened with the traditional marriage of their children, Osai Izeyamu and Harford Udoekime. The ceremony, which had the Esama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion, as Father of the Day, attracted notable personalities and politicians from different political divides. Among them were the Edo State Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, the Iyase of Benin, Chief Samigbe, and other dignitaries.
It was a brilliant display of Benin tradition and culture as the father of the bride, Pastor Osage Izeyamu, formally handed over his daughter to her heartthrob. The father of the day and Esama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion, played a strategic and symbolic role throughout the ceremony. After the fulfillment of the marriage rites as required by Benin tradition and customs, the event later shifted to the reception venue for further celebrations. The lavishly decorated tent was replete with the who is who in Benin, a retinue of political leaders, religious figures, and members of the business community, including the Edo State Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, and several former deputy governors were all in attendance. The new couple later cut their wedding cake and thrilled guests as they took to the dance floor. Parents of the bride expressed gratitude to God and appreciation to guests for the successful ceremony.
the happiest days in my life, giving out my second daughter in marriage. We must thank God for children and thank God to be alive.
Joy, my second daughter is getting married to her heartthrob, and you can see that we are all in a joyous mood.
It's from a noble family, the Yasena family. You can see that I'm the head of the family.
My advice for them is that they should watch out for each other and avoid thinking about the fault of each other.
Bringing two prominent politicians, children together in Edo South Senatorial District is a good thing to Edo South politics.
Chairman of the occasion, Dr. Godwin Ehiyamusoy, remarked that the couple made wise choices, which was evident in the grandeur of the celebration, while guests also took turns to congratulate the young couple.
I want to emphasize the fact that it is out of your love and sacrifice that made it possible to be here.
Dignitaries and various groups present danced and rejoiced with the two families in celebration of the union. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Also in the week, we told you that the former two-term governor of Edo State and immediate past president worldwide of the Edo College Old Boys Association, ECOBA, Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion, was honored with the prestigious Excellence in Leadership Award by the Lagos branch of the association. The award was presented at the 2025 annual dinner and award ceremony of ECOBA held in Lagos State.
Confirmation of the Distinguished Excellence in Leadership Award conferred on the former two-term governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion, in recognition of his sterling leadership qualities as president worldwide of the Edo College Old Boys Association. The award was received on his behalf by the Managing Director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki. Welcoming guests to the epoch-making event held in Ikeja, Lagos State, Chairman of ECOBA, Lagos branch, Mr. Charles Issa, said the association has in recent years recorded significant achievements, including the establishment of an endowment fund for students of Edo College.
Every year we sponsor prizes in Edo College to promote excellence in various disciplines, in academics, in sports, in various areas where Edo College can shine.
Chairman of the occasion, Major General Julius Osifo, while commending the immediate past president worldwide of the association, Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion, for his remarkable achievements in office, called on the leadership of the association to place greater emphasis on positioning students of the college for the effective use of artificial intelligence.
We are pleased to have honored our past national president, Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion, for his exemplary leadership of the School Old Boys Association in the past 4 years. Clearly and without a doubt, and I make bold to say that unequivocally, that Edo College Old Boys Association has risen to be the most prominent Old Boys Association in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The awardee, former two-term governor of Edo State and immediate past president of ECOBA worldwide, Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion, represented by Engineer Elvis Obaseki, expressed appreciation to Lagos State branch of the association for the honor and urged members to extend the same support accorded to him while in office to his successor.
The award of Excellence in Leadership conferred on His Excellency Chief Lucky Nusaka Egbenedion is a testament to the good works he did, particularly under his 4 years as chairman of ECOBA worldwide. I'm still thankful to Lagos branch for the recognition.
Other awardees at the event include Mr. Andrew Lotu, who was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Jimmy Omoagege, named Distinguished Old Boy of the Year, and Mr. Joseph Ahigbe, who also received the Distinguished Old Boy of the Year Award. The ECOBAT of the Year Award went to Oluoku Ikechukwu Peter. There was also a presentation on the achievements of the association through the endowment fund by the LF chairman, Professor Samuel Akpata. Highlight of the event was the cutting of the anniversary cake. The ceremony was attended by several ancient and modern old boys of Edo College. From Lagos, Agboje Horia, ITV News.
Also from Lagos State, we told you during Recon Diary Review that the State Commissioner for Youth and Sport, Mobolaji Ogunlade, charged social workers in the state to continue ensuring that no one is left behind. The Commissioner gave the charge during a walk across the state aimed at creating awareness on the importance of social workers to societal development.
Social workers and staff of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development sensitizing members of the public on the dangers of social vices and the importance of social workers in the society. Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlade, represented by Mr. Abiodun Dina, said the increasing number of people migrating into Lagos daily could negatively affect the state if not for the efforts of social workers.
A lot of families are displaced. So what the role of the social welfare department in the ministry is to provide support for the vulnerable member of the society. We have 15 social welfare homes and institutions that takes care of different vulnerable members of the public.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Pharmacist Toyin Okel Soyintolu, represented by Dr. Toyin Jayola, said the state has assured that vulnerable groups are included in all its development plans.
And for the great work we are doing in schools, in hospitals, everywhere, social workers, they are everywhere in Lagos State performing a very great role. So I want to thank all social workers that are serving humanity for the great contribution that they are doing.
Chairperson Nigeria Association of Social Workers, Lagos State Chapter, Modukbeola Saeed Adebambo, said social workers in the state operate across various sectors, providing support and care to those in need.
Well, social workers generally, and myself inclusive, we take care of the vulnerable. Provide services to vulnerable groups and populations in the society.
The team of social workers also visited the Lagos State House of Assembly as part of the awareness campaign. From Lagos, Agboje Korea, ITV News.
In case you're just joining us, the program is News Review. We'll go on a quick break. When we're returning, the program News Review will continue. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the program News Review. Now, moving on. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, provided financial support of 200,000 naira each to 250 elderly persons in Edo State under the Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program. The support was delivered on her behalf by the coordinator, Office of the First Lady of Edo State, Mrs. Edesili Okpewolo Anani.
The gesture by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, was represented by Mrs. Okpewolo Anani, aims at improving the welfare of senior citizens and ensuring that the elderly continue to live in dignity despite prevailing economic challenges. She said the Renewed Hope Initiative places strong premium on social inclusion and care for vulnerable groups, particularly the aged, noting that the program reflects the First Lady's commitment to compassionate governance and people-oriented interventions.
As we approach the festive season, it is crucial to emphasize the importance of prioritizing our elderly citizens in our initiatives. They have walked difficult paths so that the younger generation may have a smoother road to travel. It is therefore our moral duty and indeed our joy to ensure that they live their twilight years in comfort, health, and dignity.
Some beneficiaries of the initiative expressed gratitude to the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for the timely intervention. They described the selection process as transparent and the assistance a life-changing gesture.
I appreciate this gift. Wonderful.
I describe this. God is with her. God will bless her in Jesus' name.
Never see this cat. I never see. This is my first time. And God will bless them for us.
I'm very happy. I will use it to buy things for my family. We enjoy together for the Christmas.
The support under the Presidential Renewed Hope Initiative's Social Investment Program serves as a key platform through which the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, supports vulnerable populations, reinforcing the federal government's broader agenda of social protection and inclusive development. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
And now to some religious matters. We told you during Weekend Diary Review that Christians were advised to imbibe the virtue of love in their daily lives as means of building a more godly society. The spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Senior Apostle David Unuefe, gave the advice during the 2025 Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, organized by Independent Television and Radio in conjunction with Christ Chosen Church of God International, GRA1 Auditorium along Airport Road, Benin City, Edo State. The event themed Celebrating the Love of Christ reflected on a message of peace, love, and salvation associated with Christmas.
Christmas carols, which are songs used by Christians to joyfully announce the birth of Jesus Christ, originated in Europe during the Middle Ages. Over time, the tradition has grown into a cherished part of Christmas celebrations around the world. In keeping with this long-standing tradition, Independent Television and Radio, in conjunction with Christ Chosen Church of God, hosted a special 9 lessons and carol service. Some personalities read the 9 lessons and delivered goodwill messages at the event to the delight of the congregation. The managing director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, appreciated Christ Chosen Church of God International for collaborating with the station to ensure a successful hosting of the event and reaffirmed the station's commitment to promoting the values of peace, love, and unity.
We cannot be Christians celebrating Christ if we don't love ourselves, if we don't look and preach peace amongst us. Christ remains the reason for the season.
In his sermon, the spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Senior Apostle David Unuefe, urged Christians to see the message of Christmas as an inspiration to live in love and serve one another selflessly.
As you celebrate the birth of Christ, please let there be love. One, love for yourself and love for your neighbor. Love for the job you do.
The event featured a quiz competition, performances by renowned church choirs, gospel music groups, and artists. Highlight of the celebration was the cutting of the Christmas cake by Apostle David Unuefe in company with the management of Independent Television and Radio, led by the managing director of ITV, Engineer Elvis Obaseki. There was excitement as a gift was presented by ITV and Radio to Senior Apostle David Unuefe. There was a special appearance by ITV and Radio's Father Christmas, popularly known as Father Paul, who distributed gifts to the congregation. Chairman of ITV and Radio Planning Committee, Erosa Agbonlao, alongside a member of the Church Planning Committee, expressed satisfaction with the success of the event.
I am grateful to the Almighty God for the success of this year's edition of the 9 Lessons and Carols.
The song and everything that inspired us, the 9 Lessons and Carols, was very fantastic.
Management staff of Independent Television and Radio present at the event included the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Lady Celerina Ujomo, Executive Director Operations, Chief Elder Ogbede Uwumose, Director Independent Radio, Dr. Dan Omozusi, and General Manager Group Commercial Services, Mrs. Odum Balogun, and Deputy General Manager Programs, Dr. Sonny Duke Okosun. From Benin, Osemudame Osage, RTV News.
With that report, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program News Review. Do not forget to keep it at us next week Sunday, which I'll be bringing the program News Review again. I am Deborah Iviogbe for now. See you next week. Do have a wonderful week ahead. Bye for now.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.